Hummel Von Griffin, Karen Torres, Leslie Dunneberger, Lloyd Montgomery, me the GM, Brandon Blackmore. Tonight's game, once again, is brought to you by, but not sponsored by, Crick and Rum. I'm actually going to switch from that back to the Captain Morgan's Captain's Reserve, or whatever that's called. Because it's only a couple of dollars more expensive, and I think it's actually better rum. So, all right, where are we at? Oh, let's catch up, Lloyd. What happened last week? I'll tell you what I remember, and then you guys can correct me. You had the Pashupatastra, the crystal thing, energy source, and you took all the people from the Carnival Star back to Tranquility. I believe you ran into Amelia Earhart, and she actually landed in Tranquility.
Yeah.
And so there's that. So she knows that she can stop there and pick up fresh water, that sort of thing. Let's see. You took the Pashupatastra to the spider people in the Crystal Temple spaceship thing, and they nicely, or at the very least politely, said that the plight of the humans was not their problem, and they had no interest in making it their problem. Not our concern, is what they said. However, you pressed them on it, and because the raisinified humans had been touched by what they call the heart of Pashupati, because they had been touched by it, they could come and stay with the spider, what the spirits, the energy creatures, call their children, the spider creatures. They said those humans could come and stay with the, everybody else there in the space crystal temple ship thing, and would therefore, and this is something Michael inferred from their language, but essentially, so they could continue to exist after the ship ceases to be in this reality, and this reality goes away, or something like that. That's not literally. A lot of it's like subtext, because it's like telepathy. What they said is when we leave, they can come with us when we leave. But Michael inferred from like the undertones of how they're communicating, that they see it as they will continue to exist in another place, and this place will cease to exist. So that gave you some pause about giving the Pashupatastra back to them. What?
So it'd be a bitch if they were right.
However,
to connect Jabra Speak 710, go to the Bluetooth menu on your mobile device and select it from the list.
Okay. Now, are they correct? And then somebody put forth the theory that maybe they're the ones who actually created this entire reality. But no, because you've run into people who have been here longer than they have. So
the people from the boat.
Yeah, the people from the boat have been here for generations.
Yeah.
Like literally like 2,000 years, according to. Then again, time works weirdly, so it's hard to bet on anything being certain. But the going theory is that this reality predated their arrival. So there's that. So then, last resort, the wizard Salazar, who the raiders stole the Pashupatastra from, and Salazar is the one who originally stole it from the spider people, to see if he would know a way to reverse the effect that it had on the humans. And you tracked him down. He was past if you continued, southeast, if you continued east along the coast of that big sea, there was like the Carnival Star, and then there's like the cave where the raiders were. If you continued down there, there was a tower. And I will show you what that looks like. Here it is.
Hey, how do I sound now?
The same.
Yeah, about the same.
Really interesting. I'm using the conference room speaker thing like that. I don't get it.
I don't know, man. Just yell. Raise your voice. Make noise. Okay, so there's a tower,
Oh, well, that's cool.
and
And let me guess, one single person lives in that, right? That seems excessive.
you only saw one.
Then again, we snuck in through the roof.
Tuh.
You did. You flew up to the very top and broke in.
We perpendicularized up to the top.
Yeah, you perpendicularized up to the top and broke in. At which point I think I have some pictures of the internals of the place if I can find it.
Remember you
Oh,
showed us
here's
the
one. Hey,
routine.
I got a couple. And here's the very first room you went into. And there, standing around that circle, are the big Anubis statues that were the things that stole the Pashupatastra from the spider people. And Captain Harrows was a little disappointed to discover that they are not machines, they are statues. They appear to be a solid piece of mineral.
Because he wanted to steal those.
Because he wanted to steal those. And then there was up one level, was here, and it was open to the sky, and lots of libraries and lots of high-tech looking stuff. And that is where you saw Salazar. Now, this is not what he looked like in the guy's memory. This is what he looked like in the Raiders' memory. They remember stealing it from this guy. However, when you found him, he was not powered up, and he looked like this guy. And you did your best to convince him to help, and it became quite clear that he was perfectly capable of helping. And he didn't want to, and he wasn't going to. Fuck off. So, because he resented that the Raiders stole the thing from him, and from his point of view, the humans basically got what they got for being with the Raiders. They got what they deserved. So, no, you may as well go. You may as well go. I am not helping you. So that's kind of the way he talked. And then so you beat him up.
Very
Actually,
good.
we didn't
Very
beat him up until he attacked me, and that was
I
actually
heartily
the
approve.
mind.
Oh, he attacked you because you were reading his brain. Is that right?
Yeah.
Do I remember that
But
correctly?
he actually did attack us physically first.
Yeah,
Okay. Michael was trying to peek in his brain, and he took offense at that. And combat ensued. He
The
fled.
Negotiations broke down from there.
He fled. He actually glowed and turned pixelated and it disappeared. And I think somebody thought, well, that's interesting. Somebody said that. I don't remember who.
I'm pretty sure it was Donald's character.
Okay. However, not before Michael was able to glean a formula for a reversal reagent, which you'd have to use pretty much the same way the first one. You'd have to dunk the Pashupatastra in it, and the fumes from it would reverse the effects on the resinified people. However, none of you guys know how to make this formula because it's super science. So, and as cool as he is, Captain Harrows is not a chemist. So,
No,
I'm the chemist, but I don't know the super chemistry.
yeah.
but
So,
I'm wondering if we can synthesize it with the stuff from the hospital where we got the Eye of Odin.
That was one of the things we thought about.
well, that's where you are. I mean, that's where we are now caught up. So,
Yeah.
I don't remember where you were at this moment. Were you just outside the tower at this moment when you're having this conversation?
I think we were making our exit after dude pixelated away.
Yeah, all right. You're making your exit because, which is probably wise, because he does have a whole tower full of stuff there, and if you hang around, there's a good
Oh,
chance.
didn't we knock the tower down?
Yeah.
That
Jeez,
I remember.
did you?
After we left the tower, we knocked the tower down.
Absolutely did. Yep.
Yeah.
He wouldn't play with us, so we had a temper tantrum and knocked over his toys.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, there's certainly no reason for him to ever come looking for you. I mean, why would he have any reason to seek revenge on you now? You've resolved
Hey,
that
why would he want to
in.
come after us when he knows we beat the snot out of him?
Yeah. Hey, look. Yeah, but he didn't have all his toys. But now half his toys are wrecked. But the important thing is, we tried. We asked. We were polite. He was unreasonable. This is what happened.
He was
Oh,
a
I mean, he
shitty
was kind of a dick. It's true.
Yeah.
So
This is what happens. I hope he learns his lesson and corrects his ways.
No. He clearly was not going to.
I don't remember how you knocked the tower down. How'd you do that?
I would have counseled against that, but hey.
It's like, hey, who's for knocking the tower down? 1, 2, 3. The eyes have it.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious myself. It looked fairly substantial.
Don't remember personally.
Trying to remember.
But I'm
Yeah.
always the wrong person to ask on that one.
I think it was how much rum you'd had.
Me?
No, Brandon.
Well, I mean, that's why I don't remember. That's not why you don't remember.
No, I think that's how we knocked it down. Okay.
Oh, I see. You just said, yeah, we're going to blow it up and knock it over. And I'm like, yeah, it sounds like a plan. It falls over. All right, great. Awesome.
We were trying to end things.
It was getting very late, and Leslie was turning into a pumpkin, it's true. All right, so through a combination of brute force and massive ignorance, you blew out the bottom level of the tower on one side, and the whole thing just kind of fell over. Sending huge waves of like mud and sludge out, which then like come back in and ploosh hit it because it's sizable. It's a sizable object. So, and then you, I don't want to say flee, but expeditiously find and move toward your next location. So that's where you are.
The hospital where we found the Eye of Odin.
That's an idea. They have to see if the equipment there can understand the chemical
Might be able to
formula.
understand the formula.
Yeah, but can we understand the equipment there?
No, we've got
That's
somebody who
something
can.
that our friend Captain Harrows might be able to do.
It did seem comprehensible to him at the time. Like, he didn't understand everything it was doing, but he was able to tell it to do things in a way that he and it could communicate.
Yeah.
So that worked.
All right, well, that's worth giving it a shot then.
Oh yeah, you're in the hovercraft now, I think, because of all the water.
Yeah, probably.
Or is it the tracked thing? I don't remember. I come to think of it, I seem to remember talking about how the water was splashing up when the tracks were going through.
Yeah. So we were tracked.
Okay, so you head on out. Retrace your steps.
But I made some modifications so that the tracks rise up into the body, which provides some buoyancy, so that we can actually move along at a reasonable pace for shallow water.
Sounds like a plan to me. Let's see. That is not what I want. That is what I want. So, you head through a few different environments. Oh, and also the spirits. They're always very calm when they talk to you, but they impressed upon you the importance of you bringing back the heart of Pashupati, and they seemed somewhat impatient that you had returned to them without it. So that's just something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Where is it right now?
Yeah, where is it right now?
It's in a lead-lined box inside of something else that kind of will block its signal.
Yeah, it's in a box, in a box, in a box, in a box, hidden under a.
Hidden somewhere in the yeah.
Why haven't we given it back to the spider people?
First off, because we needed to de-raisinify the passengers.
And we weren't quite sure that that giving it to them wouldn't destroy this reality, because that's kind of what Michael had inferred by the mind conversation.
I do remember that being a topic.
Yeah.
I'm a little hesitant.
And thankfully, because it was that kind of confusion could happen, if they come after us, we can always tell them, no, I'm sorry you misunderstood. We were going to return it when we were finished helping our people.
I'm not sure they can come after us because they didn't leave their tower to go retrieve it from the.
Yeah. Well, they'd have to send the spider people against us.
Yeah.
I'm for not giving it back to them because I'd rather not take the chance that their method of transportation may not literally make us cease to exist, but might damage this reality in some way, and that would be very adverse to us.
You actually consider this a possibility?
I actually consider this a possibility.
I still wonder what would happen if it got dropped into the maelstrom.
I don't think that's a great idea.
That would probably definitely put an end to this reality.
Yeah, let's not throw something that has the power of an entire universe into another power source.
That
Not a good plan.
and you don't know whose hands it might end up in if that doesn't destroy it.
Yes. All around a bad idea.
I'd rather find out more about it before we give it or use it in any way.
Yeah, so Lloyd, we're making more and more friends by doing all this. Clearly.
Yeah, we're just basically gonna have to keep it on us too if we leave it behind anywhere.
Well, it's well shielded and well hidden, I think, so we should be okay with that idea.
Well,
I think you guys said you tucked it away somewhere in the engine compartment.
Yeah.
Where it's not easily accessible and it's inside a lead-lined box protected by some other, like a Faraday cage or something. I don't know. We really hit it well.
Yeah, it was like the grounded copper core with the lead.
Yeah.
Don't hit the tinfoil.
Yeah. And then I stuck it in, and then I stuck it into the air filter.
And it's stenciled machine parts on the outside.
Yeah, exactly.
Broken
Spares.
machine parts.
No, it just says spares.
Spares. Yeah.
Alrighty, where am I at? Okay, no, not that. Oh, there's the raiders. I like all this stuff. I like way too many tabs open.
Oh, by the way, I found another vehicle that would be fairly appropriate for Captain Harrows to be running, especially in wet environments.
What's that?
Called the Sherp.
Okay. I assume you're going to share a picture.
Yes.
Where am I at?
As soon as I put, there we go.
Okay. While I was doing that, you guys are cruising along, and your intention is to go back to where the hospital was. Let's see if I can find that.
So yeah, here's what it looks like.
Oh,
Okay.
I think I've seen that before.
It's like a box with
Yeah, the
fighters.
Sherpa, the military is testing them.
Yeah, they without the wheels on, they float with a full 2,200 pound load.
What?
The wheels have enough air in them to displace 7,000 pounds.
Nope.
Good heavens.
Yeah, you pretty much you can't capsize it, you can't sink it, and it just goes. At one point, some Canadians were driving it. I saw a video. A couple Canadians were driving it across a lake, and one of the front tires broke through the ice, and the thing just goes onto this horrible, like 45-degree tilt, one corner down, rear tire in the air.
Wow.
Now, Captain Harris, there's what you need to make right there.
But then, so the guy driving it just hits the throttle and goes full forward and just digs it until the thing breaks completely through into the ice and climbs its way out.
Oh, it's a Weeble Wobble vehicle.
Yeah, it's. My dad saw one on a truck headed to, he thinks it was either Cape Breton Island or Newfoundland. It was that and a supercharged F-150 Raptor on a trailer together going to the same guy. My dad's like, nice way to spend $250,000.
Good heavens.
You know? Well,
Okay.
the Raptor's like they're each like $120,000.
That's a little out of my price range.
I mean, yeah, they're not inexpensive.
So you're cruising along. Let's have some random encounters. This is pretty random. Actually, I'm gonna type in exactly what I want, and we'll see if an image for it comes up. Because you never know. No, it does not come up. All right, you cruise along for a while. It's too new. That's something older. Let me put in a year. How about 2001?
Was it last episode we met up with Amelia Earhart, or was Lloyd here for that one?
I don't know if it was last week or the week before last. I think it was last week.
It was last week. It was the beginning of last week, as we were leaving Tranquility to go talk to Salazar.
Yeah. She was when you ran into her. She was mapping the coast. She was flying on the coastline and mapping the coast, which apparently is something that she does for fun. Is flies around and makes maps of what she's flying over.
Yeah,
she had like notebooks. I don't know if we covered this, but she has like notebooks and notebooks of maps that she's drawn in the car in the plane.
No, we hadn't, or I'd have been very interested and shared my charts with her.
Well, you were pressed for time, is what we're going to say about that.
Okay. You
were pressed for time. All right. Oh, here you go. This is what you see. Is it big enough? Oh, I need a bigger one. But I know what I'm looking for. I'll go ahead and type in the model name, blah, blah, blah. Large. Yeah, this will work. View image. Man, it says it's big, and I say view image, and it's this tiny little thing. It's just, that's not right. That's not right. View image. There we go. That's what I want. So you cruise along through the mesas and splashing along through the coast of this sea, and then you turn north to get away from the sea and back toward the direction of the Crystal Tower and the area with the hospital and the ruined high-tech city with great big pools of toxic green glowing goo and bestial humanoids that I'm going to call ghouls, but they're not undead. They're living creatures. They're just... Anyway, you're heading back that direction. While you're still in the Roadrunner Coyote type environment with mesas and orange rocks and stuff like that, you approach and begin to pass a car going the other way, and it looks like this. And it looks pretty much just like that, and it has a yellow kayak tied to the roof. No, not a kayak, a canoe. Kayak is the thing used with a hole and you just sit in it. It's a canoe. A yellow canoe tied to the roof.
Okay. I waved to them.
Probably better tell them not to continue going that way unless they want to get eaten.
You wave to them, and the driver waves at you, and you can see the passenger is like shaking the driver and yelling at them. After a moment of that, the driver stops. Do you guys stop, or you just keep going?
Yeah, we'll stop.
What do the driver and the passenger look like? Are they human beings? Are they giant bug monsters? What?
They are human beings. They appear to be young women. Actually, I might be able to... Oh, wrong tab. Okay, sorry. Wrong screen, rather.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find you a picture, because it would be fun if I could. All right. Oh, that's actually not bad. Yeah, here's what they look like. This is perfect. God damn it, it did it again. I click it. It says it's big. I click it, and it's small. So let's do this. I click that, and then you gotta go to the page, and then go look at the next thing.
There are varying definitions of big.
I think it tells you the pixels on most of them, doesn't it?
Well, that ain't working. Let me try a different picture. There's a cat trying to get in the room. All right, let's try this. Oh, hey, it worked that time. It didn't work the first time. Okay, they look like this. It's a pair of young women, and they look like this. They are both carrying baseball bats. They get out of their car.
Probably
What?
pretty much had that look on their faces. Yeah.
That's pretty much the look they have on their faces. it's what the hell?
I call out to them.
Not hostile, not afraid, like worried, confused.
Gobsmacked. Yeah.
Yep, there you go. So you stop bring the crawler to a halt.
Yes, and I tell them, you probably don't want to go that way.
At which the well, it's a black girl and a white girl, so I'll say the black girl and the white girl. The black girl says to the white girl, "See, I told you, it's not clearly the wrong way. I mean, we're going to be trapped. We're going to turn a corner and have Jawas shooting at us with little electric rifles." And she's like, the other woman says, "A Jawa? What the hell's a Jawa?" She's like, "Jawa, Star Wars. It's our little robot. He fell over." And she's like, "I have no idea what you're saying." Anyway, so they're arguing while you were standing there.
Really arrived, are you? How long have y'all been here?
They look at you and let's see. We'll call them Doris and Kenny. Doris, white girl. Doris. Kenny, black girl. Doris says, maybe 2 hours, maybe 3.
Well, you're not dreaming. This is a weird place. Might want to come with us if you want to live. Pretty odd out there.
And you definitely don't want to go that way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That
Okay. At which point Kenny says to Doris, "It's like we are not we're not taking a ride to the very first people we run across. This is how horror movies start." And the other one's like, "It's like, well, I think we're way less likely to be eaten by Jabbas if we're in that." She's like, "No, Jabba was the big lizard thing. Jabba was a little." Oh God, you haven't even seen the movie. How can you not have seen Star
If you
Wars?
continue going that way, you're going to end up getting eaten
come with
by
us anyway.
Okay, and you're forgetting the large the decent percentage of horror movies where they ignore the kindly people offering them help, and that's how they end up dead. Just saying.
At
Big
which
horror fan.
Doris says, "They have she has a fair point." She's like, "All right then, I'm Doris. This is Kenny. This is our car. Who are you? And how do you know where we are?"
If they recognize, if they're recent enough to know our TV show.
I missed everything you just said, Karen. I accidentally disconnected myself. So
Yes, we noticed.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what was the name of our TV show again? Cryptid Hunter?
In search of.
in search of.
In Search of. I'm Captain John Harrows, and welcome to the set of In Search of.
Kenny clearly recognizes the name. The other young woman, Donna, what do I call her? Doris? Yeah, Donna. Donna has that same kind of like, kind of look, especially she doesn't have any idea what you're talking about. Kenny says, and she shakes Donna. She's like, "In Search of! It's that show. They find like the Loch Ness Monster and Bigfoot and Sasquatches and with the big octopus thing off the coast of Madagascar." So, and
Yeah.
the blonde is just like, "None of those things are real." And she's like, "Have you looked around?" So,
Yeah, we never found any except the Kraken, but we have since we come here, so you might want to be careful.
Yes, we. Yep. Couldn't hear you, Donald.
Huh?
What?
We lost you. You there for a minute, Donald.
just for a moment. You said you have found things, so be careful, and then you went silent for just a moment.
Yeah, no,
That was
But
it?
we have found things since we came here, so be careful.
Well, yeah. By the way, I'm Dr. Anna, but yeah, we're definitely getting good footage here if we ever get back.
Well, Donna points the direction they're going. She's like, well, what is that way? Because we've been this way, and this way it's all desert. Although some of it smells delicious, but it's clearly desert, and you can't live there.
Cinnamon.
Oh, the Cinnamon Desert. Yes. You didn't go far enough. Like I said, you're welcome to join us. We're heading back to a town. It's the only one in the area.
Well, the only one that we found where they speak English anyway.
Yeah.
Well, that's so. Kenny's like looking at it. I say, well, they speak English. That's got to settle it, right? And she's like, I don't know. It just seems awfully iffy. She's like, they're celebrities. Of course they're iffy, but they speak English. And they have whatever this is.
Question for you ladies. I have a very important question for you ladies. How much gas do you have left in that vehicle?
How much what?
Gas. Petrol.
Petrol. Oh, well, we have plenty. And Kenny's like, oh, we're almost on empty. We've got like this much. And Donna's like, you shouldn't tell them that. Perhaps it's a trick. He's like, what kind of trick? If they wanted to, they could just run us over. They didn't have to stop and say hi. She's like, well, maybe that's part of the trick. She's like, oh, you are impossible.
Hey, Captain or Gunner, do any of you guys have like a business card you give them to show them that you're legit?
Oh, absolutely.
Anything? I mean, because who's gonna try to abduct somebody and give them their damn business card? You know.
I've got you. I've got my professional one and my business and my show one.
While y'all are doing that, I'm gonna whistle to my bots to go ahead and hook their car up onto a tow rig for me.
Yeah, I'll jump down.
Oh. Okay, so here's what happens as people get distracted by different things. Dr. Anna jumps down, hands over a couple of cards. Kenny looks at the cards, and she says things like, it's really a great pleasure to... I'm not gonna keep up the lower class English accent the whole time because I can't. They're gonna start talking like East Indians. But so it's like, I'm so glad to meet you. You know, I was so sad when your show left the air because they replaced you with another team and they were nowhere near as good.
That's what I did when they couldn't find. Okay.
But no. She introduces herself, and with her full name, and I don't know what Kenny would be short for, but whatever it is, it's short for something. And she introduces herself, Donna. And meanwhile, little robots, little automata, are like picking up the car and moving it around and putting it in tow hopes. And Donna's like, no, get away from that. And she's like hitting it with the baseball bat.
It's fine.
Stop.
No. They're with me. We're gonna take your car back to Tranquility so that you can have it later.
Yes, I put my
we haven't decided. We haven't decided that yet. And Kenny's just like, oh, come on. Really?
Okay, let's make a deal. We'll take you somewhere safe because you're almost out of gas, and then you get to decide if you're going to stay there. Okay, that's all we're offering. Because if you keep going that way, you're going to end up walking because we're the only people out here for
Think of us as the last roadside service you'll ever see.
Yes, we're the
Not to mention my friend here, Captain Harrows, can probably convert your car to using something other than gasoline.
Yes, we'll make your car run again. You can leave if you desire.
Right, well, Donna comes over to Kenny and like pulls her off, and they have a spirited, whispered discussion. And
that would be a great side project for Ty.
What?
A great side project for Ty, figuring out how to make the car run on seawater.
Then they come back, and Donna is sullen and unresponsive. But Kenny says, well, we'd be happy to take you up on your offer. Thank you so much. Because, frankly, I'm not sure what we would do when it ran out of gas, and it was this close. So, our kit is all in the back. I've actually been living out of my car for the past 6-8 months. So do we leave it there? Do we bring it into your big machine or what?
the car's going onto the big machine, so you can take what will make you comfortable inside, and you'll have access to it whatever you want whenever we stop.
Sounds like a plan. Kenny climbs up. Donna reluctantly climbs up after her.
Okay, I pull out a short blade and hand it to her. Handle out here. If you're not feeling that concerned about us, here.
Who, to Donna?
Yeah.
Yeah. If
So
you're that way,
takes it.
Donna.
Like, makes kind of stabby motions. Clearly, she does not know how to use it. But you saw the way she was swinging the baseball bat. She doesn't know how to use that either. So, potato, potato. She's like, well, all right. I'll give this back to you when I feel better about things.
There we go. That works.
Thank you. It's very kind. So they go sit down somewhere. Robots bring them drinks. The first thing they bring, they both don't like what they got brought, and they ask for something else. Like Kenny asks for a gin fizz, and Donna asks for something else, and the robots, leave and come back a few minutes later with that. And they loosen up a bit, or Donna anyway, loosens up a little bit after that. Kenny seems to actually be having fun. So,
how many seasons has it been since they switched us out? Just out of curiosity.
Blank look from Donna. Kenny's like 3. They're on the 3rd season. They stopped in the middle of the. Well, you were on your way. Oh, I remember this so clearly. You were on your way to. What the place with the mountains? She's looking at Donna, and Donna's like, "Why are you looking at me?" She's like, "It looks at you guys. The place with the mountains."
Colorado.
Colorado, yes.
That's
And
where the storm hit us.
then there was the next week. There's like nothing, and they showed like a clip show, repeats, and then a week after that, there's like nothing, and then they said that the season was ending, but they were coming back for next season, but they had like a whole new team, and they were just nowhere near as good. Nowhere near as good. I mean,
That's how long we've been gone. Okay.
well, they lost the substance. It was all about looks. It was like pretty boy and pretty girl and another pretty boy, and probably not one of them weighed more than 10 stone. I don't know how much a stone is. How much is stone? She says some English measurement.
They still
that-
use that in England? Really?
Who the hell knows? I don't know. But you can infer that what she means is that they were all skinny.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, so you chit-chat for a while. Moving on. So
14 pounds to the stone, same as a fortnight.
Yeah, 10
there you go.
stones.
She says not one of them was over 10 stone.
Yep.
And so she herself is clearly over 10 stone. So at some point, everybody gets settled and you continue cruising on. Yay! And people want to small talk with them can. They are completely ordinary middle class or lower middle class. Donna seems to be like middle class, and Kenny seems like she might be. Hard to say. Probably they're both just like solidly middle class. And Donna's clearly the more uptight of the two. Kenny's more adventurous, but they're clearly friends. And that's something. I don't know if it matters to you. They may never show up again, but if it matters, when they bicker, this is not the bickering of people who've been traveling together for a week and hate each other now. They're clearly friends. There's affection even while they're arguing, So
Get that.
I don't know. That becomes clear when you're watching them interact. Let's see. So you cruise along for a while. Yay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you hit the cinnamon desert. Yay. And it smells delicious.
Yes.
Let's see.
Again, I set the treads to run in a counterpoint cadence, offset cadence, so that we don't attract the sandworms.
There it is. I was waiting for somebody to make the Dune reference.
And if Kenny asks, that's the reason I give for the change in drive. Well, we can't make a steady mechanical noise. It might attract sandworms.
Okay. Man, I'm not going to do that one. Let me do a different one.
Because let's face it, a chunk of Arrakis ending up here would not be the weirdest thing we've seen.
It would not be the weirdest thing you've seen.
Just out of curiosity, what is the weirdest thing we've seen?
I haven't got it yet.
Amelia Earhart, I have to qualify as pretty freaking weird.
I thought it was pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah, some of both. The cultists reasoningify the people to regain their own health. That was pretty odd.
It is a little weird, yeah.
Cruising along.
Of course, Sharon.
You
But again, then there's Sharon.
the bat, stupid bat.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, at some point while you're driving along, you hear a distant, jet passing overhead, and up in the sky you see a tiny speck, which is clearly the vroom vroom.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like way up high and it's gone before you notice it practically.
I go, and then there's the hat.
Okay, you're cruising along for a while. You turn right at the Cinnamon Desert. Then you hit like flat scrubland. It's not desert, but it's not grassland. It's like very sparse grass. You haven't seen a lot of animal life. And actually, that's true just in general when you've been traveling around. Other than the dinosaurs, a lot of these places seem kind of sparsely populated by anything alive, other than things that want to eat you. It just so happens, as you're cruising along, as you're looking ahead, you see a wolf, more or less on an intercept course with you. Its back is to you, but it's walking at like an angle to your path. And at the speed you're going, you'll probably pass in front of it.
Can I get the range to tell if this is like a 3-foot tall wolf, a 4-foot tall wolf, a 12-foot tall wolf?
Dire wolf.
Yeah.
Make a
30-foot
engineering roll. That's like engineering. Yeah, make an engineering roll.
Okay.
To calculate trajectories and angles and things. And I got to roll against you, but it's pretty easy. So let's see what you got. 3d6. No, 2d6. Duh. Ooh, I rolled pretty well. You need 12.
2d6 plus 3. Come on, secure dice. Can I use piloting instead? I get proficiency in piloting and ranged combat. Both of those
Let's see what you get with engineering.
Oh, a 14. A 5 and
Oh,
a 6.
yeah.
Wow.
Judging the angles, you can't narrow it down to like less. I mean, you can't tell precisely, but it is a normal size, like dog size, and not even a particularly big dog. A dog-sized animal. When you think it's a wolf.
Okay. And it's going to fold in behind us?
It's walking away from you, like you're going like this, and it's walking away from you, and its path will intersect yours, but you think that you're going faster than it is. You think that you will pass in front of it before it reaches the intersection. If it matters.
I'm thinking we slow down and let it go. Cross behind it so that we don't, drive in front of it and spook it and make it do something it doesn't want to do.
Fair enough.
I mean, yeah, the last thing we need to do at this point is to scare up more trouble than we've already got. We're plenty good at scaring up big trouble. Let's try and avoid the little stuff.
When you get close, who's the biologist of the group? Is that Michael?
Yep.
All right. Well, it'll be apparent that you're slowing down. So I assume people will see what the deal is.
Mm-hmm.
Is
So
it
you
a
see-
normal run-of-the-mill wolf, or is it a coyote?
Hang on. I'm about to tell you.
Okay.
Doodly-doo.
It's a dire pug.
Oh, it looks like this.
Oh,
And
will
it
a
looks-
dire bat
from a distance, it looked like a wolf, but when you get close, you're like, that's.
Coyote.
You don't think that's a wolf? It's actually a coy wolf. It's a crossbreed between a coyote and a wolf.
Nice.
Which Michael pegs it instantly, because that's actually a very easy thing for Michael to identify. Don't even need to roll for that. That's automatic. Anyway, you guys stop, and you make a hell of a lot of noise. So, well, not as much as you used to, but still, it's noise. And there's nothing else out here making noise, so you stand out. So it stops and sits back in its haunches and looks at you.
Okay, in that case, we'll continue on ahead as long as we're not going to scare it out. It doesn't seem to be running from anything, which is the other thing I wanted to
Looks like it might have been domesticated in some way. So
Roll some
just,
dice, Michael. Science.
Science. Okay. With intelligence.
Science.
Okay, it looks like I rolled a total of 10.
Let me see what I get. That's not a great roll, but let me see what I get. Oh, I rolled double twos. 4 plus 3 is 7. Yeah, you get it. Okay, well, it sits there and is just like watching you, and Captain Hero starts up the crawler again and starts moving forward. And as you guys start to pass it, you can see its ribs. It is clearly very hungry. It is a very, 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 very hungry coy wolf. It doesn't chase after you or anything. It just watches you go by.
We want to toss it some meat?
This is a starving animal.
I suppose we should. I mean, either that or well, we toss it some meat and prolong its misery, or we let it starve to death without no.
You having this discussion?
Yeah, that's how Captain Harrow says it.
Well, there's no wildlife here, so it's got nothing to eat, and it eats meat. It doesn't eat veggies.
Just
Brendan,
gotta.
while we're having this discussion, find something that I figure a carnivore would eat, and go out there and make friends with it.
Cool. You got beef jerky up. Well, it's technically dinosaur jerky. Aplenty.
Hey, if there's worse comes to worse, you can take it back to Tranquility and make a great guard dog.
So you pick up some dino jerky and fly out there, or like it flies down there to it. When you land next to it, it kind of shies. It gets up and like scampers away about 8-10 feet, and then stops and looks at you. And you hold out something to eat, and it comes right back.
Okay.
It keeps an eye on you. It's got its eye on you, and it like pulls, it like grabs whatever you're holding and like yanks it out of your hand and goes away about like 6-8 feet, and then eats it because it is fucking starving.
Are we anywhere near the southwest? What was it? The buttes and all that. Are we anywhere near that area?
You're on the other side of Cinnamon Desert from that. Where you are now is basically flat to the horizon with scrub grass. If this were a real place, there would be snakes and there'd be lizards and there'd probably be tiny mice and things like that. If they are here, there are a couple of different possible explanations for this. A, it's been in the Cinnamon Desert for a week and just got here. And there are tons of little animals around. It just hasn't found any yet because it just got here. That's possible. You haven't gone looking for little animals, and Captain Harrows hasn't built a little animal detector, so you don't know. Alternately, wherever you are, this world, this biome, is like some kind of weird post-apocalypse disaster, and literally everything is dead. Also, completely possible. And so there's that.
Okay.
Those are the two most likely cases.
I call out to that coyote. Hey, boy, is your name Wiley?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I see. I see where you're going with that. Sorry.
I pull out the binoculars and start looking for a roadrunner.
So I'm gonna try to befriend it and feed it and see if it'll come along with us.
I'm keeping an eye out for that roadrunner. Trouble.
Well, Isco flies down to where Erlang is. Erlang has a bag of dinosaur jerky. He's feeding it, and if you give it more, it'll take more and it'll eat it. So, yeah. And when it's not hungry anymore, it'll just sit there and look at you. It'll take the food and then go a few steps away, put it down, and then look at you.
Well, I expect as we
and if you
start
offer
moving-
more, it will take more go a few steps away, put it down on the first piece, and then look at you.
Because it'll get sick.
Portal.
As we start moving, I imagine it'll follow us if he wants to continue to eat.
Give it some water, and after that, leave it to its own devices.
Wait.
It
We-
greedily drinks the water because it can go a lot longer without food than water, and it's also very, very thirsty. It'll drink pretty much all the water you've got on you.
Okay.
Michael, can you think like a dog?
What was that?
It's not a dog, guys. It's a wild animal.
Michael, can you think like a coyote or whatever it is?
I can't think like them, but I seem to be able to make friends with them. I have animal empathy out of character.
Yeah, you do. I remember that.
I can't read their minds though, because they're not sane.
Well, you can do what you can to tell him he's welcome to come with.
Sure.
He doesn't have to run all the way to Tranquility unless he wants to.
I'll go up and look at him and say, there's more where that comes from if you want to come with us.
Make a diplomacy roll with your animal empathy.
Mm-hmm. But I don't
Presence.
have diplomacy. I just have the animal empathy.
Well,
So what am I rolling without diplomacy? Just one dice?
yeah, one dice.
What's it on?
Presence.
Presence, okay. Total of 8.
Well, it's not bad. Let's see what I got. Not bad. All right. You get across to the koi wolf that it can come along if it wants. You get the impression that it does not trust you. However, it likes food and it likes water, and you haven't tried to kill it. So we'll just call this truce for now, is kind of the impression you get from it. And it makes like a wide circle around all of you, and then jumps up and then jumps up and then jumps up and then jumps up until it's actually on top of the crawler, away from everybody else, and then sits down and lays down.
Okay. Hey, I'm good with that. We'll just make sure he gets food, and we'll get him back to Tranquility, and he can decide whether he wants to try to hunt the little dinosaur.
Am I disconnected again? Oh, no. Everybody else got disconnected for a second. That was weird.
Yeah, everybody went away, and then everybody came back.
Yeah.
We're back! Hooray! Okay, so
I had Lloyd, Leslie, and Brandon go away for a second.
I had everybody go away.
So you cruise on. When the crawler starts up again, the koi wolf stands up startled and looks like it's about to jump off, but after a couple of minutes, it finds somewhere lower where it's got like stuff around it and lays back down, where it can see all of you.
Yeah, I'm not going to bother it. I'm going to make it quite clear I have no intention of bothering it.
Mm-hmm.
It is a wild animal. It is not a
Yeah.
dog, as Lloyd said. All right, what do we got? So you cruise along for a while, then you pass through. Oh, I found this picture. I get to show you something that I found, and it is a thing that I can show you. So I will. Where is it? Oh, there's the electrician. Nope, almost there. Any day now. Suburbs! There you go. You hit an area that looks like this. Like, 1 minute, you're driving through Madlands. Next minute, you're driving through the suburbs.
Oh
This was here
man!
the last time.
Oh man, that looks like my old camper.
Wait, which
wasn't
one?
here the last
Or
time.
the actual
Except, it's a short wheelbase instead of a long wheelbase. But that Dodge van up front, mine
blue
was,
the baby blue one? Yeah.
Are there people?
You do not see any people at all. However, Donna and Kenny are excited when they see this. It's like, oh, you call this a town? This is civilization. See, I told you we were right to take a ride with them.
No.
Well, this is not where you want to stop because there's no people here. I don't think there's any food either. We may have to keep going.
We'll
Yeah,
take a look around though. This is new
We
to
could
us.
look around though, yeah.
this wasn't here when we headed out.
This is new.
It goes on my charts.
It might not be here when you do the next charts.
That's part of the charts as they get dated. That's why I want to look through Amelia Earhart's notebooks is to compare coastline over time.
Well, do we want to check this place out to see if there's any kind of supplies we can take with us?
Oh, absolutely.
Clean new clothes?
I'm
I
sure
wouldn't
we
mind finding some clean new clothes.
I'm sure we can at least get a full tank of fuel for Kenny's car.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll suggest that Atalanta and I do a reconnaissance.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
We'll just do a quick run through a couple of the buildings and see if there's anybody in there, or if there's anything dangerous in there. You know, zombies, mutants, wild dogs.
We could take clothing, bedding, all kinds of things we hard manufacture here.
Like I said, I'd like to get some new clothes.
Yeah.
I'm sure Tranquility would like to get some new clothes.
Mm-hmm.
The bedding will be quite popular too. Agreed.
Maybe any electronics that might be useful to Captain Heroes.
Yeah. Well, all kinds of stuff from the vehicles.
Yep. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And nothing
Matter-
you see is
I'm sure our friends from the cruise ship would like to have some new clothes.
Yeah. Matter of fact, how many of these campers and trucks and stuff can I get to follow us?
Depends on how
What does it
many
look like,
have
Randy?
gas.
one at a time. You can make it one at a time. However, you have minions. Wait, you have minions. So realistically, you can probably get 3 or 4 minions to drive things to follow you if you can get the things to start, and if they've got gas. So those are things. Meanwhile, Dr. Anna and Erlang run or fly off and start searching houses.
I do too.
Oh, and Isco, great. All 3 of you make a survival roll.
Can you think?
We'll call it reason. Yeah, reason. Why not?
Jenny was talking about living in her car, and that classic camper would be a whole lot nicer for her to live in. And so I want to give her the option.
12.
Okay, so what'd you guys get?
13.
It's
13 and
low.
12 and... Sorry.
It'll be low, whatever it is. 'Cause I don't have survival. I have a low reason.
Okay.
No more than 2.
Wow. Gracious. Wait, it had to be at least 2.
2.
Because your reason's
I
not
have
1, right?
I do not have survival skill.
So that's 1 dice.
1 dice. I rolled a 1.
Okay.
And I have a reason of 1, so I got a 2.
You have a reason to
Wow.
Wow.
You're very unreasonable.
I stumbled down a sewer manhole cover. Stupid shit like that.
Craig, your voice is faded again.
Damn it.
You are super, super quiet. It is true. Well, we see why Isco spent time in prison. He's got a reason to 1. I mean, he's made some bad life choices. So
Yes. I'll really admit that.
you find the sort of things you'd expect to find in a circa 1990 suburban neighborhood.
American?
American. It appears to be American, yeah. I mean, the TV guide on the coffee table is in English. So
I make the distinction because if this were, say, Chinese or England, then there wouldn't be any firearms.
that's
I
funny.
was going to Brandon.
What?
If you want me to be mean, I checked the license plate to find out what state this is.
Illinois. It's Illinois.
Oh, there definitely should be guns here then.
Yeah.
Okay, so the role is not to find ordinary stuff. You can pick up and carry with you as much ordinary shit as you want. Boxes of Ritz crackers, cans of soup, sheets, towels, whatever.
Clothing.
Sure,
All
clothing.
kinds of things, sexy.
Most of it is ugly colors, though. Like
Who
a
the
lot
hell
of
cares?
orange
New and clean clothing.
and
Kind of avocado green from the 1960s.
yeah, there's a lot of that kind of thing. So The thing you were rolling for was to realize that the houses you were searching have been searched before. So,
Mm.
like anything that's like actually good that you would actually want to eat has already been taken. So you've got cans of green beans, cans of chickpeas. Actually, you don't have boxes of Ritz crackers. What you do have are boxes of whole wheat crackers. So you have the things that people or gluten-free crackers. You've got stuff like that.
Scavengers.
Yeah. So the houses have been searched through before.
So no booze, no guns, no precious metals, no good clothing, no good food.
Well,
Yeah,
let's
but
see.
clothing is clothing as far as tranquility.
Yeah,
you-
If it's such a big deal,
You find plenty of clothing.
I can probably whip up if I can get my hands on the right kind of stuff. I could probably whip up a dye. If worse comes to worse.
but we're scarce
Sure.
we just take all the bedding and just cut it up and turn that into clothing.
So
Yeah.
while your most combat effective characters are all out searching houses,
Yes.
I'm not.
We have a
I'm
radio and we're fast. I'm not overly concerned.
Yeah,
not searching either, and I'm somewhat combat effective too.
I was just
Yeah,
being
remember-
mean.
yeah. Michael and I are standing watch with Doris and Kenny, or Donna and Kenny.
Sorry, I meant to mute it and I coughed right in your ears. Sorry.
And
I am getting over the cough gradually.
Good. I'm worried you had tuberculosis there, Slick.
I'm letting
It's-
Kenny know that if she'd like a better car, you know, something more suitable for her needs, there are plenty.
That would be stealing. And Donna says, but that would be stealing. Whereas Kenny says, they're all dead. You can't steal from the dead.
Exactly.
And I think, and Donna says, well, I think you can. It's called grave robbing. And she's like, but they're not in graves. They didn't get buried with the cars.
And they
So
may not be dead. They probably might have wandered off somewhere.
In
At
which
which
case,
point- you see this group turn a corner. There's a group of them walking, and in the middle of them is what appears to be a heavily armored golf cart with barbed wire and
Oh
spikes
my
and things.
God, Mad Max.
Mad Max. I was going to Mad Max guy.
Anyway, they turn a corner and point at you guys and start going, "Yeah, yeah, yeah," and start chanting. And you realize after a moment it's like a high school fight song. We can do it. Yes, we can.
I get on. I
We
get
can
on.
do it. No one
Yeah.
can.
All right, settle down, lads. This is Coach.
Did everybody get muted? I heard nothing all of a sudden.
No, I said, all right, settle down.
No, I heard that. You
lads.
said, and then there's like that weird silence. Okay. Anyway, they charge the land crawler.
I'm going to use something that I've never used before.
Ooh, that sounds fun. Let's do that.
I have motion control, and I can use the ultra power to mass produce. And I'm
Emotion?
thinking fear.
Holy smokes! All right then, you roll some dice then.
But I guess we have to roll initiatives. Or
Oh,
roll
you can do this before they get to you. So,
Yeah,
sorry, what?
I said only if whatever she's doing doesn't work.
Yeah, you do this before they get to you. So we're gonna say
I'm
you go
doing it.
first.
yeah. No, my response was going to be to turn on a bunch of spotlights and have an explosion happen between us and them.
That's a good idea.
Mhm.
Let's see if I can get some of them to run away first. I rolled a total of. Now it's power and 2 dice, right? Or is there anything else that goes with it?
If you have expertise with mental combat, you re-roll 1s and 2s.
But it's just power.
Yeah, mental powers and adjustment powers are just power.
Okay. So we've got a total of 14.
So this is a complete aside. I just realized how the Greatest American Hero works. He has powers, but no skill in any of them. Or no knowledge of them. Got it. Okay.
That was my character in Conspiracy Theory. Was Greatest American Hero. Oh man, my character background on that thing was like 2 pages long, and it was like back-to-back Stephen J. Cannell references.
A little bit of Riptide, a little bit of Magnum PI.
Yeah. A little
Okay, Leslie, what'd you roll?
I rolled a 14.
God damn.
I actually mentioned Rockford in the character background. It was
10
Love it.
10 young men and women, mostly boys. And I'll say young men and women, but no, they're boys and girls. There's the oldest probably 19, most of them probably 16, 17. They're all muscular, they're all jocks. So let's say there's 10 of them. Let's say there's 7 boys, 3 girls. They all run toward you, holding their makeshift weapons, like a axe made out of a racket, and like saw blade suits stapled to it, that kind of thing. It's all improvised, built kind of stuff. Michael, all but one, look at you guys, and run the other way. One. Let's see.
Yeah, I guess Donald
7 or
can
less,
point
it's a
his
boy.
weapon at the
Girl!
girl.
One girl. She's got like long hair up in a mohawk, and she's got like stripes under her eyes and like a sparkle neon blue, and she's got circular saw blades that have like a hole cut into the middle that her fingers can go through, and then like the blade parts are cut off on the side, so she can like be holding these circular saw blades, like, she's like running toward you, and she gets to you around the same time she realizes that she's the only one there.
I'll pick.
power up the plasma cannon.
Okay, let's see. What would he call this?
Fly back over and go fire form and boo!
You're searching houses. Let's see. Survival. If I roll really high with survival, I run away because that's clearly the wise thing to do. If I roll low with survival, I am brutally fearless. So she gets up to you, she sees she's alone, assesses the situation, takes a step back, and she says, "Do you surrender?"
I like you, sweetie. You want to join us?
Yeah, I'll get on the PA. I like you. With the powered up plasma cannon pointed at her, I go, "I like your spirit. What's your name?"
Becky.
Good to meet you, Becky. Captain John Harrows.
Well, I'll let you go this time. But next time, you owe the toll. She turns around and starts walking slowly away.
Hold on. I'll grab a pack of dino jerky. Becky.
Stops,
For your
clearly does
trouble.
not really want to turn around. But she forces herself to turn around, and she's like, "What?"
I tossed a bag of dinosaur jerky. For your trouble.
Oh, fucking A. All right. That's better.
Have a good day. Next time I expect a friendlier greeting.
Who are you again?
Captain John Harrows.
Okay. I think we can work something out. I'm keeping this. She walks back to the electric armored golf cart, which everybody else ran past, and she gets in it and drives it off.
I like her.
Yeah. I'm glad I didn't have to run her over with her own golf cart.
All right. You resume. Oh, everybody comes back who's searching houses with armfuls of not horrible, but not your first choice of canned and stored preserved food, and clothing. Oh,
And towels and sheets. And...
one moment. Chewing my dinosaur jerky. You find dead people. In addition to the stuff you find. Most of the dead people you find are legitimately dead and have been dead for 6-8 months. I mean, they are no longer squishy. They're just kind of dried out dead people.
Did they get any idea how they died?
From, and this is Isco, Dr. Anna, and Erling. From their posture, they were not surprised. So, like, couples will be sitting on a couch hugging each other, like that kind of thing. Like, they knew something was happening. A few people are apparently in the middle of packing. So you'll have, like, a dead body slumped over a half-packed suitcase. And that is where Erling finds a few pistols. It's, you don't find them... Let's see. You don't make like a searching kind of a roll? Make a perception roll? Oh, no, investigation. Make an investigation roll.
I have investigation and hyper acuity.
Ooh, add your power then to your investigation roll.
Oh, maxed out the roll.
Good golly. What'd you roll?
So, let's see. That's going to be reason plus power 7.
I rolled 7, so you're fine.
Okay, I rolled 12 higher than 7.
You find 4 pistols. Let's see how lucky you are with the ammunition, because I don't want to screw you over and make you find like 4 different kinds of ammunition. Oh, this is 22 long rifle. This is 40 Smith & Wesson. Yeah, whatever. This is a round that was manufactured specially for a gun convention in 1982. Never made sense.
7.62 Nadab gas checker edition.
Yeah, you've got a really nice Ruger 1022 and a whole bunch of crowns.
Yeah.
Well, sadly, you did not get lucky for the ammunition. You find 4 guns, all which chamber entirely different rounds. So, and just luck of the draw, one of them's going to be 9mm, one of them's going to be 22 long rifle, one of them's going to be 25 ACP, and one of them will be 38. So, they're all fairly commonplace. Well, they would be in our time, but they're all different. And really, only 2 of those are good for shooting at human beings. I mean, realistically, you know, whatever. That's going to happen. The other 2 are good for plinking or shooting at.
Them might have been a nuclear war or a disease.
Yeah, the 25 would be perfect for hunting small critters.
Small critters. Yeah, and the small dinosaurs that periodically sneak into the town.
Yeah.
But as Erling and Dr. Anna and Isco come back with their arms full of bounty, actually, you probably can find, well, you actually do find actual suitcases, so you could fill those up and just bring those with you, and you just bring stacks of suitcases. None of you are weak. You can carry quite a bit of stuff. As you get back to the crawler, just around the time you see a heavily armored golf cart turn a corner and leave down a side street. So what the hell is that about? You don't know.
Worried about that?
Miss something fun?
Just a bunch of high school kids.
Interesting. The high school kids, or the kids survived.
Oh, that's another thing. All the bodies you find are all adults. You don't see any children.
Well, yeah, haven't you seen Night of the Comet?
I was thinking that old Star Trek episode.
Oh, yeah. Original Star Trek.
Yes. The only good.
I was thinking that wonderful movie, Night of the Comet. Late 80s, early 90s. Asteroid destroys all the adults. Anybody else a fan of that era of bad movie?
Kenny's seen it. Yeah, but they weren't really zombies, though, were they? They're more like mutants, because they weren't dead. They were just kind of like, and they're all military for some reason. I don't know why. Oh, they were underground. That's why. I remember that.
Well, these kids aren't zombies, which makes them actually match the original Star Trek series episode.
Yeah, apparently
Well, I don't know. Maybe,
by a Mad Max episode.
maybe they were like in a lock-in in the gym with somehow protected.
Don't care.
knows?
Moving on.
Moving on. You fire up
We'll
the.
be friendly when we come back. Don't worry.
Oh, that's weird. Okay. You fire up the crawler, start going.
Yep.
At which point, from out of side streets, you see creatures very similar to this.
Oh, those are the zombies.
Oh, we found the zombies.
Maybe here somewhere.
These guys look like they're running, but the zombies coming toward you are not running. They are the shambling, slow-walking sort of zombies.
The realistic
They're
side.
easily mowed down.
Okay, everybody inside.
I just out of spite, I shout, "Becky, found your mom!"
Well, that's just mean.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This thing doesn't have by chance have a flamethrower, does it?
Not yet.
We definitely need the flamethrower.
So
I do like some.
You have Isco,
It's like-
so.
Actually, yeah. We have it. We don't need a flamethrower. We have an Isco. I meant an Isco on
True.
Oh, actually, here they look more like this.
These are all yours.
Here you go. They look more like this. They're not running. They are shambling.
Can we just drive past them?
You certainly can.
Yeah. Let's just drive around them. But everybody inside.
Yeah, everybody inside except Isco, who's a flamethrower.
Well, for,
Yeah.
for purposes of dramatic effect, you're going to have to run a few of them over.
Ploosh,
Well,
crunch, crunch, plop,
Fair
plop, plop, crunch, splat.
I'll go ahead and give the rear treads a little sideways skid as I do it, just to make sure it grinds them down.
Okay. You continue on out of town. Eventually, you get to what appears to be jungle. Apparently, just outside of suburbia is jungle. It's not an urban jungle, just a jungle. And then you're kind of crunching through undergrowth and overgrowth and trees and stuff. And you do see animals here. You see big-ass snakes and big-ass beavers and huge mosquitoes and that sort of thing.
Big,
As you-
small enough for our friend the coy wolf to hunt, or does he want something smaller?
When you get to an area that smells like it's alive, it perks up a little bit and like starts looking over the side at things, but it does not
Anything
seem.
out there interest you?
Nope.
Okay.
You get the impression it's curious, but it's not hungry at the moment, and
Okay.
does not feel motivated to attack a snake 3 times its size. So
Okay. Yeah,
perhaps
we
earlier
want
today
to-
it might have. Now, not so much. So there's that. Unless you have some errand you want to run in the jungle.
Well, no, I'm asking in lieu of, do you want to be left here, or do you want to continue with us? Type of question. Is there anything here that would interest you in the future, or do you want to continue on and look for something better?
Okay, it doesn't literally speak, right? And it's just an animal.
I'm
It
just
doesn't.
trying
It doesn't
to-
have
I'm
like
just trying to
that
get
kind of.
the idea.
I get it. I'm just making sure we're both on the same page. But the impression you get is from it is it's like, do you have food?
So it'll stay with. We have food.
And if you give like a positive vibe from the desire for it to have food, it'll be like, well, works for me. Just if there's food in it, I'll believe anything you say.
Congratulations, Michael. You've completed the first step towards animal domestication.
Yeah, I think so.
For 5,000 more years, this guy's going to be a dachshund.
right. Well, you reach the grassy, hilly area that you know is the edges of your, well, what you've come to think of, I guess, is your domain, where the dinosaurs are. And shortly after that, you see dinosaurs. And shortly after that, you see a gang of American Indians riding... No, actually, they're not American Indians. Tribal Africans riding
I was going
dinosaurs.
to say, when we see the dinosaurs, I radio in to Ty about where we are and, let her know.
I imagine all three of our guests are going to be intrigued by them.
Oh, yeah. The Koi Wolf hunkers down and is attentive, but chooses to remain unseen.
Yes. As he realizes he is no longer at the top of the food chain.
Yeah, this food chain is a bit bigger than I am, so. Okay, so number 2, that's 1. I'm going to show you some pictures of dinosaurs because I found these yesterday and I thought, oh, these are cool. The game's probably on its way to wrapping up before too awfully long, so I want to share these while I still have the time. Nope. Ah, there's one. That's number 7. So let's go 8. 3 will be enough. I'll do 3. These are drawings that somebody did, and they're really cool. Okay, there you go. 3. Here you go. Tribal Africans. So they have colored stuff painted on them, and they have spears and they have shields. It's hard to describe this without it sounding like some kind of bad Tarzan movie, but they are noble savages, if that makes any difference. But they are definitely decked out in very much a tribal theme.
Okay.
Maybe somebody with sociology as a background, Dr. Anna, for that matter, would recognize them. You might even recognize like what part of Africa they're from, because Africa's freaking huge. It's like saying, oh, they're North American. No, there's like whole countries in Africa. Who knew? But you can probably nail down like what tribe they are or whatever, and even the time period. In fact, I'll give it to you for free, because how often is this going to come up? They're from 17th century Southeast Africa, and I don't know what tribe or whatever that would be, but that's where they're from.
Well, in the 1800s, that'd be the Zulu territory.
Yeah.
Sure, territory
And
was the Zulus took it over.
there you go. Like, there's one. Now, these are clearly American Indians, but pretend they're Africans. So you got Africans on dinosaurs. And hang on, I'll give you another one.
Only makes sense to me that they
We've
would
been here for a while.
but they would get used to that.
I thought that was a pretty cool picture.
Yeah. Very cool picture.
If they've domesticated the dinosaurs, they've been here for a while.
They're definitely further along with it than the people of Tranquility are. The most they got was one guy who could get one he could ride, and even that one you don't want to put your hand near his mouth. Oh, and also Bob, the ankylosaur. So, all right, so you have dinosaurs with people on them coming toward you, and they appear intent on attacking you. And there's, let's say, 6 of them. I don't think I need to tell you this, but I will. They are not a serious threat to you. The most advanced weapon you see is a rifle, but it is a circa 17th century is 18th century, 1700s. Lloyd, what kind of rifles do they have in the 1700s? Do they have bolt actions yet? I mean, lever actions yet?
You'd be flintlock.
Like
Musket.
right?
Yeah, muskets. Like the most advanced weapon you see is a musket, and of the 6, like 2 of the people, let's say it's 4 men to a woman. Like one, they're probably sexist as hell. All right, because it's like the 18th century, whatever. So 2 men have muskets, and the rest have spears and axes. And
Captain.
On 3, let's all show our other forms and our biggest and baddest and meanest and scare them all away.
Yeah, that's about where I was gonna head. Is I was going to call recall in one of the tribal languages.
Michael, can you scare him away?
Do not attack us, we mean you no harm, and then send an explosive blast between us and them.
So you do that. Isco goes full
Create an
full
explosion.
fire angel mode.
Full biggest as I can get, flaming scimitar, fire.
Yeah.
Anybody else doing impressive displays?
Oh, I'm
curious.
just going to let the big boys with their big booms.
Yeah. These three are way better for showing off.
I'll take on my aspect.
Well, can Michael come
I,
out or something like that?
If it worst comes to worst, I'm going to pull out the shotgun and just do some sniping if necessary.
Again, they're really seriously not a threat to you. Now,
Yeah, that's why I said if you can
Donna
scare 'em
and
off, I
Kenny
think you can
are
scare 'em
both
off.
cowering behind things because they're like, oh no, people riding dinosaurs are attacking us. But then you guys pull out your big guns. Okay, what did you say, Craig?
I was saying, can't Michael like levitate or something like that to show superpowers?
One more time, you're really quiet.
It's okay. It doesn't matter.
Can you something superpowers? Come on, one more time.
Yeah, I thought Michael could like levitate or something like that, like with their force powers. It doesn't matter.
Oh, I see. You were suggesting Michael do something impressive.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Yeah.
compared to the rest of you,
Yeah.
Michael's powers are kind of low key. So,
Yeah. Let's hold that in
You
reserve.
want to impress them, you want something that goes boom really big.
so
Or you
Erling
can
takes
scare
on his
people, yeah.
aspect, and Isco goes full Jin, and Captain Harrows announces in, assuming Dr. Anna said, oh, they're from the so-and-so tribe. I would say around late 1800s or 1700s, whatever. And Captain Harris is like, well, actually, I spent a summer hunting the great winged something in that area. So then you announce in what you hope is a regional dialect that they understand. So let's see, how brave are they feeling? They're not feeling very brave after that. They basically all stop. It's not a concerted team stop. It's more like, whoa, this guy stops, that guy stops, she stops, he stops. And they're like, they just stop. And they look at each other. Let's see. If there's 4 men, 2 women, we'll say less than 5. Oh, man. Man with a rifle. Puts rifle into a holster on his dinosaur, rides the dinosaur forward, and says in a educated English accent, he's like, so, are you British or Dutch?
American. Yeah.
Or
American.
or Belgian.
Irish.
No, he would say, are you British, Dutch, or Belgian? He would say, are you British, Dutch, or are you Belgian?
American.
I'm Irish.
British colonial.
Turns the dinosaur around, goes back to one of the women, confers briefly. They both look over your big thing, your land crawler, converse. They converse in a group with everybody else. They seem to come to a conclusion. The guy with the rifle comes back over. I mean, although it's holstered, comes back over and says, terribly sorry. Thought you were Belgian. The tank had a Belgian look to it. So,
Oh,
I can understand the mistake.
yeah, I can understand the confusion.
hold on. Well then, well, since
are
we happen to find each other here, I don't suppose you'd be interested in trade. I don't suppose you have any rifles you'd want to trade. We don't have a great deal with us to trade with, but perhaps beads might be your cultural artifacts. No.
Well, there is a town of Americans, mostly Americans anyway.
Yeah, how far away from Tranquility and Guangguo are we?
In the land crawler, 4 hours.
Say riding a dinosaur.
Yep, by dinosaur.
Day and a half.
Okay. Just tell them, listen, if you're interested in trade, there are 2 villages, one in this direction, one in that direction, about a day's travel. They'd be willing to trade them, I'd bet.
Talks to the woman who rides up next to him, and they confer. He's like, "We've ridden for a week in every direction. There's nothing like that."
So,
Well, you're welcome to follow us. We're headed there now.
Yeah, we can slow down enough to keep up.
Confers with the woman for a minute. She goes off and talks to the other guy with the rifle. 4 of them turn around and leave. Then the guy with the rifle and the woman he's been talking to say, "Well, if you don't mind us tagging along, we'll follow along behind you to see this town you talk of."
Okay.
All right. Is this all there is of your party, of your village?
I think perhaps we should discuss that at a later time.
That might be a rude question.
Yeah.
I just want to know if anyone needs help.
Generous of you to offer, but I think we're good for now. We have rations that should last us, you say it's a day or so from here?
Yes.
Right then, after you.
Could be.
Fair enough.
we're gonna have to slow our pace down a little then.
Yeah,
to-
yeah. We'll
Yes, you will.
run for day.
Because the dinosaurs can sprint, but in general, they are not good for going fast long distances. So,
Most animals are not.
what was an afternoon drive is now a couple of days trip.
Yep.
On the
I
bright
radio
side,
into-
nothing attacks you on the way home.
I radio into Ty and let her know we're going to be a little late. We found a tribe of natives who well, they were wondering if we had anything to trade.
I know the land crawler can continue going through the night, driven by minions, but the people on dinosaurs can't. They have to stop and sleep.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and camp.
So you camp for the night.
Mhm.
You hear weird noises, but nothing attacks you. And you get up in the morning and head out again. And before the end of the day, on the second day, you reach Tranquility. Everybody's thrilled to see you. From your point of view, you've been gone maybe 3 days. For them, you've been gone about a week.
Okay.
We
Not
found
bad.
that route for not having too bad a time dilation, it sounds like.
Yeah, well, we stuck close to the coast. The coastline seems to be minimal time dilation.
Actually, by this point, Captain Harris would come to the conclusion that the time dilation is extremely variable.
Oh,
It does seem to be less near bodies of water, but other than that, it's also just really variable. Get to the town, the people on the dinosaurs are a bit
Make
skeptical.
introductions.
Hmm?
Make introductions.
Oh, all right. Sheriff Rose comes out, which actually puts them at ease a little bit because, no offense, but white people are notoriously violent. So, making introductions, everybody's, oh, I'm so-and-so, this is so-and-so. And they talk about things, and at some point, Sam asks, where they're from, and they're cagey about it. But they generally describe, the name of their tribe and who's in charge and that sort of thing. And he takes notes. So they don't actually want anything from you guys per se. You personally, you individuals, but they clearly see things here in town that they would like to take back with them. And so they ask a lot of questions like what you want from other people. And it's kind of weird because they don't want to give away what they can do and what they can't. So it's kind of an awkward conversation, but it's fortunately for you, not one you're actually part of. Moving on. You're there in town.
that's what Sam the Mayor, Rose, and Tandy are all about.
Yep, the NPCs go take care of all this. They tie up their dinosaurs. Actually, no, they don't even tie them up. They ask if there's a place where they can be freed, but they can't get out of.
A corral.
Well, actually, the guy who's talking, who's apparently, she doesn't speak English, the woman he came with. He speaks English. He says something like a courtyard is what he describes. You say corral, and he does not recognize that word.
Hmm.
Okay,
So we
what
can-
what what do you mean by corral? What is a corral? That kind of
Large
thing.
fenced-in area specifically for animals.
They- Yes, precisely.
It's an
Okay, so
Afrikaans word. They wouldn't understand it.
you anyway, it doesn't really matter. The dinosaurs seem to be fairly well behaved. Both of the ones that came with you are both herbivores, so they're not as fidgety as the carnivores. So that all gets dealt with. Meanwhile, you guys are there. You catch up with Ty. You catch up with Jack. You catch up with various people. What's your plan? You were going to
still
go
have the
back to the
MacGuffin,
hospital.
don't we?
What?
We still have the MacGuffin, don't we?
Yes,
Yes,
in
we
a
do.
lead-lined box marked machine parts that's hidden behind the secondary oil reservoir at the bottom of the land crawler.
Okay, go ahead, Nate. You guys just want to keep the thing for yourselves, don't you?
Well, no, we need to find the. We need to get to the hospital with the Eye of Odin and see if we can make the stuff that'll de-raisinize the people.
It's more like we don't know we can trust anybody else with it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, meanwhile, we can unload all the stuff we brought. We can unload all the stuff we brought.
Oh yeah, you all learn all kinds of stuff. But again, this is like an
Mhm.
NPC thing, so they take that off and they start sorting through it. Meanwhile, what do you guys do?
And I guess we introduce what's the two ladies and say, well, this is the village we were talking about, or the town.
Welcome to Tranquility.
The Wild West. We're in the Wild West.
Yep.
Well,
This
Yeah,
isn't a
yeah.
town. This is a theme park. What?
At least it's the Wild West with fresh water.
and it's being civilized.
And there's a full tank in the car.
Okay.
Unless you wanted the pickup truck or the camper or whatever.
Oh, that's right. You had minions. So there's actually a caravan of cars behind the land crawler, driven by minions. Let's see. It's a good long drive. A couple of days. We're gonna say one of those ran out of gas. Probably the camper, because it gets the worst mileage. Oh, on the other hand, you can just siphon things off from other cars. Yeah, they all get there. You have to stop a few times to reshuffle the gas tanks. But yeah, you get there. Sure, fine. Why not?
Okay.
Why be mean?
Other than that, while we're here, Brandon, I just want to check on the monks, see how they're doing.
Monks doing swell. The monks
Excellent.
are largely self-sufficient, so they don't really
Yeah,
need
I was
anything.
asking if there was anything that they needed, but I'm not sure there is.
No, they've got a spring and a creek running through their inside of their monastery, which is actually bigger on the inside than the outside. And they have like a garden they grow things in, and they have very modest material needs. So, yeah, monks are fine. So,
All right, cool. I'm gonna get a drink.
all right, let's pause because I'm out of Coke. We'll come back in
Yep,
5 minutes.
sounds like it's time to go get
Hey, dessert.
Okay, so we're all back. Yay! One of the things that comes up while you're planning what to do next regarding the Pashupatastra is Ty is keen to show Captain Harrows one of her current projects. I've been mapping out all the obelisks that we know of and drawing what are the lines like on a contour map lines of the time dilation, and I think we can find that there's a definite correlation. What do you think?
I take a good hard look at that.
She has mapped out something from here to Wongwo and about halfway to the Aztecs and out into the dinosaur hills. And then there are big gaps in the map, and there's notes like not to scale. and there's a obelisk out by, and things she's marked things on this map are obelisk. And here's the thing, you don't know what she's talking about. So there's an obelisk out where the train line is, where you first met her, and there's like one in between here and there that apparently she remarked upon and noted on the way path back.
Right.
So
Well, I hadn't
Now
noticed obelisks.
now the contour map of the time dilation, that does more or less map up with the notes that you've made yourself. But you don't know what she's talking about with these obelisks.
Yeah, I tell her. I see you were near one of those obelisks with the train.
Mhm.
I'm not familiar with them.
Surely you've seen them. There's one not a league from here.
I think back. Do I?
It's just not drawn. It's drawn a blank.
No. Perhaps
I can't believe you've not noticed them. It's not like they're not exactly subtle. Well, come on then. Bring your spyglass, and I'll show you. She goes to like one of the observation towers along the palisade of the town, and she like finds one. She goes, "Look, right there. Look directly." She'll and she points it out to you, and you see it. It looks like this, without the clear plastic base.
Okay.
First time you've ever noticed it.
Apparently, we've fallen through a hole in space into a things remembered store at the mall. Is somebody's name or wedding date engraved on the bottom of it?
I was wondering if it was carved or crystalline.
Oh, well, the
We should
one
go check it out.
by my well, the one by the tracks where my train was clearly metal. I tried for several months to find a way inside, thinking it might be hollow, but I could never find an opening.
They have something to do with the time dilations.
Yeah. Now, okay. So
You've never noticed them. I mean, how do you miss that? It's ever so obvious.
Well, it is now. I think we've always headed off over in that direction and looped around past the hillside.
Well, based on her map, you've apparently passed them over and over again and just never noticed them.
And they're not small, I take it.
Well, if you ask her, she says, no, I would around, say 12 feet, give or take. Which is why I thought it might be hollow.
Yeah.
So Erlang and Captain Harrows and anybody else wants to actually go look at one?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
All right. Do you pile in the land crawler or what?
Sure.
We'll just take a jeep.
Presumably you brought one back with you, and it's got enough gas to get out there and back. So you get into the Jeep, fire it up. The Apocalypse you got the vehicles from is only about 6 months old, so the batteries are not dead yet.
You are going to have to convert these to some other form of fuel.
Oh yeah. That's going to be Ty's next project while we check out.
Multi-fuel conversion of internal combustion engines is pretty easy. You can
And something that doesn't need a battery unless you have a way to recharge the battery.
Yeah, well, batteries can be recovered through a desalinization system.
And you have a fair amount of solar panels you got from the outer space frontier people.
Yeah.
So you're good on that score for a while. You drive out into the desert, and I'm not even going to make you roll for this because you pass it. And she's like, "Excuse me, are you
What?
Are you deliberately missing it? It was right there."
I tried
And
to-
you look at where she's pointing, and she's pointing straight at a 12-foot tall gold obelisk. And apparently you drove right past it and didn't notice it.
Totally.
That's weird.
Yeah, no, none of you noticed it.
That is
When she's
very-
pointing at it, you see it. And when she stops pointing at it, you still see it. I mean, as long as you're like aware of it and looking at it, it's not like it vanishes.
I wonder if these things are intentionally meant to not be or immediately noticeable by what was the hag called us?
Real people.
real.
Real people. Real people. I'll do the money rabbit quotes. Real people.
Hmm.
When did you first notice it, Ty?
Well, there was one right near one of the endpoints of the train tracks. There was one about, I don't know, say 50 yards from that off.
Right. But did it just appear one day, or were you out looking for something, or how did you notice it?
Well, I was looking for food, actually. I was quite hungry.
And it just,
But I mean, it didn't like appear magically. It was clearly already there.
what was it? Are you sure? I mean, have you been in that spot before? Did you see that before?
No, I did. This is shortly after I arrived in this place. So, I don't know, a day or two, maybe. But it was the first time I'd been in that area.
This place being Tranquility. What about the other place you were at with the lizard folk and
No, I mean-
your train?
I mean, this whole world.
The world. Okay.
We need to check with some people from Tranquility and see if they can see
Yep.
him either.
Yep.
Hang on. I'll fly back to Tranquility and look for a couple of volunteers.
Well, people who leave the town on a regular basis are like Emmett and Sam, who goes up to Wonquo on regular trips. And there's a couple of other scavengers. They don't call them scavengers. I forgot what they call them.
Prospect.
Prospectors. Yes, thank you.
We could test this and go find Cyril and ask him if he's ever noticed one.
Yeah, so I'll basically just ask for a couple of volunteers. I need a couple of volunteers for a few minutes. It won't hurt. You'll get a chance to fly.
Oh, Emmett wants to go. I want to go. I want to fly.
Okay. I'll get Emmett and the sheriff if she wants to go.
All right.
Won't take an hour.
The sheriff's happy to go. Not so sure about the flying thing, but she's like, okay.
I'll fly him out there. Don't tell him about the obelisk. Just set him down and ask him, do you see anything out of the ordinary within, say, 50 feet of here?
They both like hook a thumb at the obelisk. You mean that?
Yeah, that.
Let's do the same thing with Cyril. Let's go find Cyril and do the same thing with him.
Have you seen him before?
Sheriff Rose says, no, that's the only one I know about. And Emmett says, no, there's another one. It's on the way to the Chinese town.
And what is it about us that we can't see them?
We have powers.
Well,
Doesn't your little friend have powers too?
No, she's just brilliant.
Hmm.
We need to find Cyril and ask see if Cyril has ever noticed them.
She doesn't say anything when you say that, but she blushes like 4 shades of red. And tries to pretend that she didn't hear you.
So I'm guessing our friend Edgelord wouldn't have seen it either.
I mean, that's what I'd like to test. Yeah.
Or the hag.
Yeah. I don't want to ask her. Unless we deal with it better.
Well, Brandon, I'll walk up to the thing and take a look at it.
It appears to be a gold obelisk about 12 foot tall. It's featureless. It's completely smooth.
And it made out of metal?
Feels like metal. Cold. It's actually unnaturally cold because it's hot where you are. We'd probably say like high 90s where you are. And it is cold enough to have condensation on it, although it does not have condensation on it.
Dig around under it or down? Does it extend into the ground?
That is an excellent question. Hadn't considered it. Let's roll some dice. I know what it is now. Yeah. You dig it down. It is and does go into the ground, but only like 6 inches or so. At which point you feel an edge.
Okay. I checked the hardness of the material, trying to find out what it's made of.
Using engineering?
Yes.
Make an engineering roll. Meanwhile, Erlang's on the other side of it, like digging with his spear or something. Or with a shovel. It's not like you don't have shovels in the Jeep. Might be insulting to Lady Ashwan to use it to dig a hole.
Hey,
Oh, sure.
after y'all don't
A nine.
scientific stuff, I'm gonna see if I can burn it.
What'd you say, Lloyd?
I said, oh God, no, I'd never do that.
Yeah, there's a shovel in the Jeep. You use a shovel. All right, you try to burn it. The temperature does.
No. I'll wait till they're all done with their experiments and their sciencey stuff and all this, and I'm gonna try to melt it, just as hot as possible, to burn the thing down.
Okay. The first person who's done with what they're doing is Captain Harrows. It is harder than the equipment you have with you can detect.
Okay.
It is definitely not gold, whatever it is. It looks like gold.
It is,
But
it is not a metal I've come across before,
Not that I'm aware, no.
because a machinist file at least put a scratch in pretty much any metal.
Yeah, you are not able to scratch or dent this whatsoever.
It's alien.
You don't say.
Meanwhile, John Erlang digs under the edge of it, and then what?
Well, I have no burning desire to destroy the thing. I was just curious. I'll mention to everybody that there is a definite bottom to the thing, though. So chances are we could probably pick it up and move it if we had to. I'm guessing it's probably pretty heavy, though.
Do you want to step back and let Isco try to melt it?
Well, as they're doing their stuff, until they like step back, then I'll be like,
Dr. Anna, Michael, you have any thoughts?
I wish I had. This is the one time I wish I'd taken psychometry as one of the things that I have, because I would like to touch it and see what it comes up with.
Well, do you have any points you haven't spent yet for skills?
I can't hear you at all.
Do you have any points you haven't spent yet?
He asks if you have any points you have not spent yet.
Did we get any last week?
I don't think so.
The week before. Recently, we got one.
We've gotten one since our character sheets were redone.
Yeah.
Then yes, I have a point.
Guess what? That's no magic.
So psychometry?
If that's what you want, sure. Or you could do ultra power, and maybe that makes sense.
I can add that to the normal powers.
You do have an ultra power. You can probably swing it with that.
Okay.
Do I see anything with hyper acuity on the surface?
Yes. Hyper acuity, you look at it with your sight beyond sight at the microscopic level, it is perfectly smooth. Like smoother than the blade of a sword smooth.
Is it mechanical? Is it a machine in there?
Possibly. Michael, did you? It's the thing that would give you psychometry would be speak with objects. Do you want to buy that,
Yeah,
or do you want to?
Under?
What?
What would it be under the
Speak
ultra
with objects is the actual power, but you can probably swing that and just throw it in your multi-power, in your ultra power if you want.
Ultra power it for now.
Okay. We can do that. I got the point.
No, if you use your ultra power for it, you would need a point. It's got no,
Okay.
there's no prerequisite for it, so you can just, if you think it makes sense to your character, you can just do it with your ultra power.
Well, yeah, it's a psychic power which would allow me to touch something and get an idea of something.
In which case, it's a diplomacy power level roll.
Okay. Which means it's still only one dice because I don't have diplomacy. I need to buy
You
diplomacy.
could put up. Here's two things you can do. Actually, no, because it's power
Burn a
level.
plot point.
You could burn a plot point and get an extra die. You could spend your experience and actually buy diplomacy as a skill. You could do both and get 3 dice. Up to you.
Let's just spend the point and get the diplomacy because I'm finding it's needed skill. And yeah, we'll burn a plot point just to find out.
Then
what
3
this
dice plus your
is.
power level.
So that means 3 dice then?
Plus your power level, yes.
Okay. Ooh, I rolled almost max again. Why do I look for useless little things sometimes? Total would be at this point 21.
That is extraordinary. You rolled 9 higher than you needed. That is nuts. What would
I
speed
seem
of
to
objects
roll the
give
high
you?
dice for weirdest times.
Michael tries to touch it and feel, and it's cold when you touch it. Not ice cold, but like 45, 50 degrees. It should be cold enough for there to be condensation on it, but there's not.
So
9. What can I give you with plus 9? I gotta give you something good for that. Okay.
Everything.
It has... I'll give you 3 things. 1, it has been exactly where it is longer than you have the concept of time ago.
okay.
No, I'm not talking like millions of years. I mean, as longer than a living mortal being has a concept of time. So we're talking at least thousands of years.
Okay.
Because, I mean, really, for people,
Almost maybe
how
as long
far
as
ago
our
can you
friends
really
from the,
conceive
cruise
of something?
ship.
So, what?
As long as our friends from the cruise ship, maybe.
At least that long. 2, there are things going on inside of it, but they are strange and alien. Weird forces are at play. And, well, clearly it's artificial. Duh. Let's see. It is not sentient. It serves a purpose. It is here
But
for
I
a
don't know what
purpose.
that is.
Stability. Its
Okay.
purpose appears to be related to stability. Like it's not something destructive. It is something that preserves. But it is weird enough that you don't really get much more than that. Okay, I think that's good. That's good for 9.
I'm going to make a common sense judgment here that I think Michael would have, and one of the things he's going to say is, "Well, Captain, there might be something machinery in there. I'm not sure what it is, and I don't think we should try to melt it because it might be what's holding this place together." And that's just a guesstimate based on one of the things I got from touching it.
What? Wouldn't it be fun to find out?
It's apparently something that stabilizes.
Y'all stand back.
Wait. Can I try and talk to it first?
Okay.
It doesn't have any
Fine.
intelligence. It doesn't have any intelligence.
Fuck.
I'm gonna go whistle at its mechanicals and see if it has anything to give up.
Roll some dice. This is... I've actually got a... What do you call it? Guideline for this. Let me go find it. Okay. An esoteric task under ordinary conditions. Nobody's shooting at you, so it's not 12. That would be an esoteric task under hostile conditions. This is an esoteric task under ordinary conditions, so that's 9. Which is really, really hard. And I rolled a total of 15.
Okay.
For speak with objects, it's diplomacy power level, rather.
Right. Plus my extra die for my mechanical object specialty.
That's correct. It is mechanical. What you got? Are you waiting?
17.
Damn it.
Hey, it's your dice roller.
All right, here's what you get. If you know how to open it, it does open, and you can go inside, which is where the controls are of this thing. And what Michael described to you, yeah, that's what you get from it as well. It is a machine that preserves the status quo. Like whatever is currently going on, that's not specific enough.
Okay.
It's a machine that preserves the way things currently are and makes sure that they stay that way. That's what that does. And it is like crazy alien high-tech crystals and energy fields and stuff. Like, you get the feeling like what you're looking at is like a third of what is actually here.
Okay. I think I got this. I'm gonna eyeball Ty's time dilation chart,
Ooh.
along with the locations of the things, and these things are time stabilizers?
Her drawings of the contour map of the time dilation seems to more or less intersect with where the obelisks are. But she personally only knows where 4 of them are, so it's not a sure thing that that's a solid hypothesis.
Okay.
Like, she knows about this one, about the one on the way to Wonquo, the one that's on the way to where you met her, and the one that is where you met her. Those are the only 4 she knows about.
Okay. But does that theory seem to mesh with her map, and that these things are like temporal stabilizers, maybe?
It's plausible. It's a plausible theory.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure we don't want to destroy them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Oh, come on.
It could also be what keeps another biome from dropping on top of this one.
Which means it might be safe to give the posh but whatever Tusi back to the spider people, because these things might keep the world stabilized.
We don't know that these things are strong enough to
I
take.
said maybe. I said it's possible.
Yeah.
Let's not bet that.
If we're willing to try that plan, I want one of these, like sitting next to me.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
I'm not really interested in giving them that thing back unless we were certain they were.
No, I'm not rushing to do it either, but these things might keep things stable enough that it might be possible. Just possible.
Yeah, but stable, just because they're keeping the time stable doesn't mean they're not going to keep a giant, massive amount of energy from just clearing out.
That's why I said I'm not in a hurry to return it. It's just a theory.
Yeah, no, I like the theory. I just want one right next to me. In my pocket, if I can possibly pull it off.
There's a sound of thunder in the distance, and it slowly gets louder.
Uh-oh.
Fly up, see where it is.
It's that.
Ah, crap.
It was going straight toward Tranquility, but you fly up in the air, Erlang, and it veers and circles around and comes toward you.
Oh boy.
And then dips down and goes toward the people on the ground.
Fly down there. Land next to the thing.
Okay. It lands, or she lands, and it lands like... And like little feet come down and... A high-pitched whine.
Before she has a chance to say anything, I'm going to ask, can you see this? And point to the thing.
If you point at it, she goes, holy...
Don't point at it! Don't point at it!
She seems surprised to see it because she didn't notice it when she landed. But you point at it and she sees it.
That's what I thought.
Okay, we don't need cereal now.
Because we couldn't see these until somebody pointed them out to us.
Yeah, isn't that just curious?
She looks at you suspiciously. She looks over at Captain Harrows and she's like, what are you up to?
We were inspecting the thing.
Yes, this is some form of stabilizing device. Apparently, they're scattered along the landscape.
personally think the landscape needs more of them, but
So unfortunately, this is out of character. Unfortunately, this would not occur to Isco, but this actually kind of disproves her theory. But I'll leave that be.
And if you've got powers, apparently you're not going to see them unless they're pointed out to you.
What are you talking about? Oh, I know what this is. You found it, and you don't want to hold up your end of the bargain, and you're trying to distract me with whatever the heck that is.
No. If I were looking to do that, I'd give you the Thompson Twins album that you hadn't heard yet.
I would like that.
Okay. I'll dig it up. That's what friends do.
Bee's knees turn into a block of cheese. She points her wand at the thing, and there's like a flash of light, and then nothing happens. It's still standing there, and she's gobsmacked.
Question: have all of her spells always rhymed?
Well, it is a stabilizer. Makes sense.
When she goes to the effort of saying things, yeah, it rhymes.
That's
It may not always make sense, but it rhymes.
No, I understand. But that's
She has done things without saying anything. Like she's blocked attacks just with her wand.
Okay, maybe it's perfect then. Okay.
Yeah, curiouser and curiouser, huh, Alice?
She gets off her Voom Broom and walks over to it and, like, touches it. It's like, did you put this here?
No.
Or did you find this?
It was pointed out to us. I'm not. It's been here a lot longer than any of us. Perhaps longer than the passengers of the Carnival Star.
She, like, aims her wand at her face and says something under her breath and, like, squints at it. She's like, I can't see into it. And she, like, walks all the way around it.
And you wouldn't understand it if you could. I think the controls are in there.
She says something that rhymes with roller skate and excavate and points at the bottom of the thing, and a huge cloud of dirt flies out. And the rest of you are, like, doing like this, but none of it comes close to her. Because it's like, it just goes around.
These things, I'm going to go invisible, and I'm just basically going to stalk her behind, just staying behind her the entire time. Just behind her. She moves forward, I move forward, she moves back, I move back.
The huge cloud of dirt is a perfect distraction for that.
When the huge cloud of dirt runs up, I grab a bot and snap them into an umbrella.
Well, eventually the dust settles, and the obelisk is still right where it was, and there's now about a 2-foot gap underneath it of a hole. It has not moved. It's staying exactly where it was.
Well, if she can't do anything to it, I doubt that.
I'm beginning to think it would resist getting loaded onto the truck.
Or burned, yeah, on the flame strike.
New plan. She turns to whoever's in charge of you guys. Not sure who this would be at this point. It's probably she probably either thinks it's Captain Harrows or Dr. Anna. So she just generally faces the both of you. Says, "Okay, new deal. If you bring that to my castle, you can keep the Pashupatastra."
I don't think that thing's moving anywhere, no matter what we do to it.
Yeah.
I've just watched you play with it, and these guys play with it. It's.
Yeah, we'll give it a shot.
Yeah, no
You
problem.
can try. We're very strong.
Of course, doing that might just disrupt this whole area.
But I have that
Yeah,
feeling.
let's go get another one. Let's
Like
go.
the one closer to you. I bet you there's one really close to you.
I've never seen anything like this before.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure this is the only one of these.
You
within-
you hadn't seen this one until it was pointed out to you either.
This one has an a spell of obscure.
Obfuscation?
Obfuscation.
It apparently resists those people with powers of some sort.
Somebody else's problem field.
I'm really hoping somebody puts the thread of, because Isco would never know this, would never understand this, that this may disprove her theory that no one else matters, only the characters matter. I really hope you guys pick that up, please.
Yeah, well, no, it definitely denotes something, but it's not that you don't matter. It's that we are here for a reason. They may have just been chance, but
Collateral damage. Maybe collateral damage or something like that.
something here has decided to take precautions against people like us, is what it tells me.
Well-
Because of obelisks, you mean?
The obelisk tells me that whatever created them and formed this area,
Oh.
it had us in mind. It's
Right.
created
It doesn't
these
want,
obelisks
because it doesn't want to be obvious to us. It doesn't want. I mean, okay, yes.
Right. Nobody but us can do something to it.
Right.
So-
that can reinforce your theory then. Damn it. Damn it.
Well, look. Aside from this, which is really interesting, and I'll grant you that. Where's the Pashpatastra? I mean, if you don't want to deliver this to my castle, that's fine. I'll simply give you an option. But you agreed to return the Pashpatastra to me in exchange for you keeping your mechanical piano. So,
No.
That
Where
wasn't
is
the
it?
deal. The deal was getting people unfrozen.
Brandon, I'm
No
about
changing
one
the
page-
deal here.
I'm about one.
One-
page
one-
for now.
one person at a time, because I can barely hear Craig. So, Leslie, what'd you say?
The Eye of Odin was what bought the piano.
Yeah, we gave her that.
Yeah. The Pashpatashras was supposed to be for freeing the stoned people.
Which she hasn't done yet.
Yeah.
Okay, when you say that, she's like, fine. Yes. Fine. Turning that town full of characters back into people. Fine.
Besides, that was your side of the bargain. You came up with that one.
I offered it in exchange for you bringing the Pashpatastra to me. So where is it? Because I know you went and got it.
It is in use at the moment. I'm real.
If you gave it back to the spider aliens in the crystal spaceship, I will be
No.
quite put out.
If
We
we
never got it
were
back from.
would be. What do you know of Salazar?
He's kind of a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one who stole it, you know.
That would make
And then
sense.
he got
Sure,
it
why not?
stolen from him.
All right, what did Craig say earlier? Because I don't want to get that lost.
What did I say? Oh no, I'm like one pace behind her. I'm just basically mirroring her movements. That's all.
It's like from time to time she hears like your foot move against a rock and she like looks around. She's feeling paranoid, but she doesn't see you.
I have stealth and invisibility with the expertise. I doubt very much she's actually going to hear.
She's paranoid. She does not see you or know where you are. She doesn't actually. She's not actually. Let me
That is fair.
elaborate.
That is,
She does not know that you are there.
okay, fair.
She
Fair.
is just generally paranoid,
Got it.
and so from time to time she'll glance behind her, like
Two thumbs up.
she'll just get a weird feeling,
Okay.
but she doesn't see you.
Okay. Got it.
And you are good enough that she doesn't actually suspect that you are standing there.
Yeah.
It's more like a hair on the back of her neck kind of a thing.
Yep.
Left to right, just to make sure everybody's caught up and I'm not leaving anybody behind. Donald, anything?
Nope. I think we've covered it so far.
Dr. Anna, anything?
Nope.
Lloyd,
All right.
Erlang, have any thoughts on the matter at hand?
Yes, I want to fly up into the air. Very
Okay.
high. I asked so that I could see if there are more, using hyperacuity, if there are more of these golden obelisks hanging around anywhere. And if so, is there a pattern to the way they're laid out?
Like this map.
Our map is incomplete.
And not to scale.
Well, she's only 12, man. What do you want?
Not
So-
kidding about
That's why I
that.
want to use my own eyes.
I mean, Yeah, she's brilliant,
Right?
but the map is A, incomplete, and B, not to scale, and, what do you want? She's doing her best.
Oh no, I think it's fantastic. But
Okay, Erlang, make a perception roll, and let me double check something, because I've changed the rules on this a couple of times. Oh, I know what it is. Let's see, invisibility. I think intangible invisibility. A character with clairvoyance or hyperacuity may add their power level to their reason when attempting to notice a character using invisibility. Now, these aren't technically invisible.
Yep.
You just walk by them and don't notice that they're there.
Right.
But the game mechanics wise, it's the same. So you can make
if they're
a.
actually searching, that makes sense. If they're just observing, I don't know, it makes sense. But if they're actually searching, that makes sense.
Yeah, there you go. So Erlang is literally looking for these things.
Yep.
So make a perception roll. It is your reason plus power level. And it is difficult. This is esoteric. These are weird alien science. But you are not under any pressure or anything, so it's 9 rather than 12.
Okay. Have I brought my plot point yet? I don't think I have.
You have not. And everybody has at least one right now, because you tend to get them faster than you spend them. So Leslie has spent hers.
I'll do that now then to add die.
All right then.
19.
I rolled completely average, which was 16. So not only do you make it, you make about 1. So you're up there in the air and you're using your sight beyond sight hyperacuity. It's a third eye, right?
Third eye, yes, Mystic Third Eye.
Ah! And knowing generally where Ty has put things on the map, you ping, you find the 2 nearest ones easily.
Okay.
And then you find like 4 more. Ping, 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 ping.
You were going to research it first.
All right. See, if,
Are they in a
using pattern recognition, are they lined up in a certain way, like in a grid or anything, or are they just randomly placed on the landscape?
They are not in any kind of grid you recognize. However, they do more or less line up with the lines that Ty drew on her map.
Oh, okay.
So you know currently where you can see 7 where you currently are, and on her map there's 1 more, but it's way hell and gone.
Okay.
Would it be over the horizon? Because this planet is bigger than Earth. I mean, it is a planet. It is round. There is a horizon, but it's like a much bigger planet than Earth, which is technically impossible. But we're just going to float past that. I'm just wondering how far. On Earth, the horizon's like 20 miles away, but when you go up that high, it's further.
It depends on your height. There was actually
And from here to where Ty was, that was a hell of a drive for you guys. That was days. So we're talking hundreds of miles. No, okay, so that's over the horizon. So, but where you can see from where you are, right? Wait, can your hyperacuity see beyond the horizon, or just to the horizon?
No, I can. And literally in the description of Erlang Chen, it is to the horizon.
There you go.
So,
All right, so you can see 7 from where you are, and they pretty much line up with Ty drew her lines.
All right, I'll fly back down and said, "Yep, Ty, your map's accurate," and I'll point out where the other ones are.
Oh, splendid! She starts
So
making
these
dots.
are what's directing our time
And
dilation?
I'll say it loud enough so that the Hag of Crag Keep will hear it. Like, yeah, I can see 7 more from up there.
So then they are stabilizing.
What?
The time stabilization does have something to do
She
with
like looks at Ty's map. How rude is she? She's actually pretty rude. She's well, if you had no one who was capable of challenging you,
Yep.
and you were not that nice of a person to begin with. I mean, she's not evil, but she's not that nice. Oh, she rolled really.
retail.
Okay, wait. Okay. I personally find this funny, so let me explain this to you. I was rolling diplomacy, and she failed that. She was going to grab the map away from Ty and look at it, because I'm clearly more important than you are, little girl. I am going to look at this map. Right, so that was about to happen. She rolled 1 away from max on diplomacy. So she has her hand, and she's like doesn't grab the map away
Okay.
because she knows that that is the wrong
Right.
thing to do and will simply alienate all of you. It's not
just
so
mentally-
much.
All
What?
the PC standing behind her, like hands on gun, waiting to see what happens, and then they all stop and like casually take their hands away.
Cute.
Yeah, like she like. Okay,
Nice.
I'm not dealing with my minions. It's like her mental process is, I'm not dealing with my minions. I'm dealing with nearly equals. So, Miss, may I see your map? Is what she says.
Nearly equals.
Nearly equal.
Great
Yeah.
thought process.
Sweet dreams.
It's progress.
I was going to say we're going up in the world. We were probably like slightly better than bugs a few weeks ago.
Okay, fair enough.
So, she says, Miss, may I see your map? And Ty's like, oh, and here, and would you say it was higher than this or lower than? And so Erlang's helping her put her dots on her map, and the Hag of Crag Keep asks if she's here. She's like, oh well, I suppose I will want it back. And she hands it over, and Hag's looking at it. Okay, looking around, look at the map, hands it back. I haven't forgot about the Peshpatastra.
But it just went down on your list of things to do, didn't it?
If this is a trick, you will all be sorry. She gets on the vroom broom and flips some switches, and it goes and flies off.
So Isco pops back into non-invisibility, back into visibility, and damn, maybe I missed my chance too.
Honestly, I was expecting you to be on the broom, man.
No, I don't know if I would do that.
Kind of hard to be noted to
I
not.
was waiting to be a first strike option. Is all the thing.
Yeah, and I'm waiting until after we piss her off permanently before I steal it.
You haven't
Yeah,
asked her where she got it
I'm
from.
like- I'm like, did you notice just how stabbable that back is when you're standing behind her and she doesn't know you're there?
Dude, high five on that one. Absolutely. She's a little bit paranoid, but she definitely doesn't see me.
I'll give this
I
for
wouldn't
free.
expect If she had a spell up versus anti-invisibility, then I'd be concerned.
You guys are not ever allowed to call me bloodthirsty. Thank you.
It just hasn't occurred to her to search for invisibility yet around you guys. And that wasn't invisible. It was just she just didn't notice it. Like once Erlang Shen pointed a thumb at it, she realized it had been there the entire time. She just hadn't paid attention to it. And that's kind of how it was when Ty pointed it out. You like see it and you're like, oh yeah, we just drove past that. Why didn't we notice that? You know,
I
it's
think the moment we leave it behind, we're going to have to get it pointed out to us again.
Hey, Captain.
No, we got it on the map.
Yeah,
Hey, Captain, question. If you were to send out your bots in like some sort of a blanket coverage surveillance network, could they see the obelisks and could they map them all out?
well, the range is a problem for that.
Yeah, mechanically it would be exactly the same as Erlang. Because game mechanics wise, it would be using my ultra power for hyper acuity. So I would have pretty much the same as Erlang in answers.
Basically, we have to get further, or we just basically have to drive out to the horizon and look again.
At this point, because they've been kind of in the background, Rose and Emmett. Actually, Emmett will be the first one who says something after she flies off on the vroom broom, and then it gets quiet again, and you guys start talking. I'm just like, "Excuse me, who the hell was that?"
Oh,
That's the villain, Emmett.
yeah, that was the Hag of Crag Keep.
She the one who left the delivered Georgie sign
Yeah.
in the sky like a month or so ago. Actually, it's like at this point, frame is like a year ago.
Not
About a year
nice.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's her.
No, she's darn pretty. Wouldn't have thought so. From you calling her hag and all that.
Hey,
Yeah,
we didn't
I
call her
seen a
that.
hag. My sister-in-law was a
name her that.
hag.
No, she took the name. I call her Billy.
Sheriff Rose is just like, so, are we done here?
Yeah, you want me to fly her back?
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
No problem. Grab Emmett and fly him back to town.
You fly back to town, you fly back. Takes a few minutes, not a big deal. Then what? What are you guys going to do?
All right, guys. Well, we've distracted her. Not sure how long that's going to work, but so we've got the MacGuffin. There's no idea what to do with it.
Do you actually call him the government? Jerk?
we need to get to the hospital to make the serum that'll.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's next on the priority list. Then let's go check it out.
Yeah, and then we could decide what we're going to do with it.
Okay, you
So-
drive
so
the
what-
Jeep back to Tranquility, pack up the Landcrawler, and head out toward the high-tech space hospital ruins, right?
Does Dawn actually call them the MacGuffin?
In character, I don't know, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say in character, probably.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
So you pack up the Landcrawler and head out.
Yeah.
Suggest to Captain Harrows that we know what we're going to be facing once we get there. So you might want to design some weaponry for like area denial
Yeah.
or ghoul denial.
I wonder if we could collaborate. We can include my power and his power together. Are there ways to do that? Cooperation?
So
That
like,
is a thing you can do, yeah.
so like I set up something to spray flammable liquid all over them.
Ghouls.
I can make it that much more effective, maybe.
And then you just get to go whoomp.
I like it.
And so I'm picturing a shitload of kerosene here.
Yeah, that's a good start.
Or alcohol, I guess.
I smell
Combining effort. Okay,
I was thinking hot dinosaur fat.
here's how combining effort works. That's interesting. The lowest roll, and this is more complicated than I wanted it, but I like the end result, so I'm keeping it. Everybody rolls normally. The lowest roll adds how many people are trying to their roll, up to a maximum of plus 10. And everybody else's roll stays the same. Basically, combining effort helps the worst people not suck. It doesn't make the best people any better, but aggregate, you might come out with more than you did individually. Not guaranteed, but you might. So, if there's only two of you, the best case scenario is one of you rolls one less than the other, which adds 2, so you will roll effectively one higher than you otherwise would have. So, but it does not in any way, there's no risk of it being worse. So.
Plus, we know what we're going into, so that should help us, doesn't it? I mean, we know the situation.
Yeah, totally. Sure.
Okay, cool. I'm good for collaboration.
You cruise on. It's already after 10, so we can kind of fast forward through the whole overland bit. And you get to the, what did I call this thing? Hospital ruins?
Looks like
Is
a
that what I called it?
mushroom.
I called it hospital ruins. I did indeed. So here we go. You can hear. Where is it? There it is. Doo-doo-doo.
That's
And the
like-
hospital building is like a big mushroom-shaped high-tech building that's leaning over on its side. And there's huge football field-sized pools of glowing green liquid and, mists and fogs that are probably poisonous. And there are groups of what I'm going to call ghouls, anywhere from a dozen or so, roaming around. And when they see you, they charge at you, but you guys are prepped. You blow them up or discourage
Set 'em on
them.
fire.
Yeah.
You do what you do. You get to the hospital, you do your perpendicularizer to crawl up the side of it, and you can go in the hole you opened up the last time you were here. Now, there were monsters in there, as you recall.
Yeah.
What's your
I'll
goal?
go first then.
So we know that there's monsters in there. That puts the monsters at a disadvantage.
They should be fearing that. But honestly.
So yeah,
What do you do?
I'll go first. That way I can fight the monsters.
I got your back.
Yeah, I'm more ranged.
Give an example of the sort of critters that you might encounter inside the hospital. They're essentially all medical experiments gone horribly wrong. I'm clicking and nothing's happening. Did I lose you? I've frozen. My screen has frozen.
We're all getting you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm getting an hourglass.
Hmm.
Well, it's that round, circular, blue thing. I can hear you. I can see you down at the bottom, and you're still moving. You're not frozen. The application appears to be frozen, so that's vexing. Google Chrome not responding. Why are you not responding, Google Chrome? What have I done to offend you? All right.
Must have been
Well,
something pretty bad, man.
I don't know. I shall be right back.
Okay.
No, don't report them. Oh, really? Okay. Are you there?
Well, there too.
There you are.
Yeah.
I am the real Brandon Blackmore. All right, cool beans. Well, I'm not going to go through all that and then not show you the monster. So here's the monster that attacks you as soon as you get into the hospital.
Oh, good.
Dun dun dun! A medical experiment.
Oh, him again.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
A medical experiment gone horribly, horribly wrong. Yeah.
Didn't you
yucky.
That was human once, right?
Yes, absolutely. It was human once. And if you really want to know, the ghouls outside were human once as well. So, and they're not dead. They're living creatures.
Well, I hope the people who did this to them got what they deserve.
Oh, they're all long since dead. So, yeah, they did. All right, then. Monster attacks Erlang.
Okay.
You need to roll close combat, Erlang.
All right.
I got a 10.
All right. I'm doing close combat plus agility.
Normally it's brawn, unless you got the gift for elusive.
Okay. Either or. 12.
I roll a 10. I miss you. It runs up to you and tries to slash at you with one of its weirdly misshapen and elongated forearms. Misses you. Your turn.
Okay. Do the same, only without my misshapen and elongated forearm. I think I'll just use a sword.
Makes sense. Hang on, and I will roll.
9.
That is not great. Waiting for my thing to do its thing. There we go. I rolled a 12. So you swing, and it crawls backward rapidly away from you. And then it tries to attack you again, leaping forward after you finish your follow through. And one of its back legs with end in long spikes tries to pepper you with back leg spikes. Total
gonna
of
say, when it
11.
I was gonna say when it jumps back, can I shoot it?
Oh, if you're there, sure.
12.
Yeah, we're moving as a unit, aren't we?
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah,
he
that's
was going to
about
go
half
in
an
and
hour's back.
clear the way.
I was just
I'm
going
a
first.
wingman.
Oh. Donald, Captain Heroes, open fire. Fire!
Come on, secure dice.
And Michael and Dr. Anna and Isco, if you guys are there as well, you can shoot at it.
Yes.
I
12.
I have John Erling's back, so I should be like his wingman, definitely.
Roll some dice.
Wait. Plus power level. 12, 13, 14, 16.
Zap.
That's 9 plus 6 is 17.
Good lord.
I'm just sharpshooting, so.
I got a 16.
Oh, God!
2, 3. What do you get, Leslie?
I rolled agility when you're using a weapon, right?
Range,
Done.
yeah.
So I got a total of 11.
That's 4. That's all we needed. So, yeah, it leaps back from John Erlang and is about to pounce again, and pew, 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 pow! You and it falls dead.
And tell your friends to stay away.
What?
And tell your friends to stay away.
And tell your friends to stay away. Yeah.
All right, then. So what are you looking for here at Science Fiction Hospital Ruins?
Something to reproduce the
Yeah, we are
supersonic serum.
a serum replication,
Yeah.
like pharmaceuticals
Yeah. Yeah.
replicator.
Yeah.
Who here has medicine?
I do.
Okay. John Erlang, without a roll, because it's fairly obvious to somebody with medicine. And Captain Harrow's got the gist of it, pharmacology. What you want is where the pharmacy is.
Okay.
So, you roam around. Several of you can read the signs. They're all in like high-tech Chinese, but most of you can read that, so it's not a big deal. You go up a few levels. The elevators don't work, but you do find they're not stairs; they're ramps. But usually they're behind doors that you have to open. Fortunately, the doors are labeled ramp, so you go up. After a while, you run into a couple other monsters, but they're alone and you are not. And judging from what just happened, you don't really have a whole lot of problem putting them down on the way. You eventually find pharmacology, which is a department. And there are essentially 3D printers that print medicine on like a molecular level. They're not quite Star Trek replicators, but they're darn close. So, Captain Harrows, if I'm gonna stop me if I say something wrong, okay?
Okay.
Because I'm just kind of blowing over it because it's getting kind of late.
Yeah.
But if I say something that's wrong, say no, you wouldn't do that.
Okay.
That's fine. Captain Harrows talks to the machines, figures out which one is the one where you input what you want, finds that. Michael tells Captain Harrows what the formula is. Captain Harrows doesn't really understand it, but tells the machine. The machine answers back that, yes, I can make that. Do you want it? And Captain Harrows says yes, and Michael says yes. And the machine says, that'll be 3 minutes. Oh, how much of it do you want? How many doses do you want? And after some conversation, you find out a dose is about 12 milligrams. It's a tiny, tiny pill. And A, you need a liquid. And B, you need about 20 gallons. So there's a bit of conversation. And the machine says, yes, I can do that. However, you need to... I can only do like X milliliters at a time. So it will take several hours. And you have to have somewhere to pour it every time it makes some. Somebody goes and finds a big bucket.
Actually,
You're in what?
You're in a medical facility. Big, large Basically, buckets very similar to what you get at home. Honestly, at Home Depot with the lid. But it's sealed. Oh, sealable. That's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Sealable 5-gallon. Yeah, that would.
You go find 4 or 5 resealable 5-gallon buckets.
And we can load them on the crawler.
Yeah.
A quart. How many quarts in a gallon? 4? 5?
Uh,
You find several 20-liter buckets. So you bring those back. It takes hours, but eventually... Oh, and the machine that's making this warns Captain Harrows with what, if it were printed, would be like a full page of warnings. Like, warning,
MSDSG.
do not breathe fumes. Do not touch fumes. Do not taste fumes. Do not allow liquid to contact skin. Do not allow liquid to contact foodstuffs. And it just goes on and on like that.
Yeah.
So,
In other words, it's the MSDSG.
Do not give to pregnant or nursing women.
pretty much. But hours later, you have, give or take, 20 gallons of some kind of incredibly toxic high-tech goo.
Now,
Hooray.
does the formula say what we're supposed to do with the posh patrop, whatever it is? Just dunk it in there and creates the fumes.
Yeah.
It needs to be suspended like halfway,
Mhm.
and then, well, as far as you know, fumes will come out and allow those to waft around the victims, and it will reverse the effect,
Okay.
as far as you know.
That's our best shot. Yeah. Well, I mean,
Well, if we do this, we're going to have to do it far away from Tranquility.
Yeah, but we gotta have to bring all our.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say first one's gonna have to be a volunteer at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got those emergency shelters we got from the space pioneers, right? We just set up the experiment inside an emergency shelter. Hell, I can run the experiment. It's not going to affect me. Or if it does affect me, it certainly can't kill me.
If it does, you'll come back.
If it does, I'll come back. Yeah. No big deal.
He'll be like, that hurt.
Thanks, man.
Man, death is annoying.
So, yeah, I mean, we can
dumb.
do that right outside of town.
All right. When it's done, the machine goes, bing.
Oh.
Job complete.
Oh, I see the machine that goes bing.
Right then. So you pack up your stuff and cruise back to Tranquility?
Yes, I've been waiting for years to use that Monty Python sketch bit.
A few days later, you get to Tranquility. Trying to think. Did you bring anybody else with you other than just you guys? I'm just curious.
We might have brought Ty with
no,
us.
not this
Ty was
time.
earlier. Maybe Ty.
Yeah, no, I think it was just us.
Okay.
We're not taking a 12-year-old kid out where
Come
some
on,
the
she's
monsters
proving
are.
herself. She has. I think Ty, if she wanted to come along, we would have allowed.
No.
No, come on.
I'd have brought Ty along if she wanted to. She just understand it's dangerous and there's a non-zero chance of her dying.
And I would loudly suggest that we really do need somebody on the other side for communication purposes.
Both good points.
Although Ty has low-key hero worship of Captain Harrows, she clearly looks up to Dr. Anna as a role model. So when you guys are like making noises like she can come, she's like, and then Dr. Anna's like, no, we really need you to stay here. She's like, you're right. I should stay here and man the radio. So she stays. Yeah, you get back to town. You got your buckets of goop. Again, you've been gone your time 6 days. As far as the town's concerned, it's been like 2 months. So.
Okay.
Oh! We're very close to the end. I'm going to wrap up because people turn into pumpkins. But
Yes.
I'll tell you this much. You get back to town, there is obviously one thing that is very different in the alleyway between the sheriff's office and the newspaper office, there's what looks like some kind of weird high-tech platform with pillars that are high-tech. They're weirdly like high-tech but made out of scavenged materials. So if you can picture...
Okay.
I'm having trouble coming up with a good way to describe this.
Did Ty do it?
But if you... No, I didn't do it. But if you were trying to build like a Star Trek teleporter out of used appliances, that's what you got. And there's like what appears to be a small portable generator, like powering the thing sitting next to it. With it, and it has a fuel tank with a metal funnel that from time to time somebody pours something into, because apparently this thing uses a lot of fuel. And there are two about 3 foot tall, green, big-eared, big pointy-teethed critters manning this. And they say hi.
So they're new arrivals too.
I was going to say, are we responsible for this? Is this something completely independent of us?
Well, you weren't there. Rather, Lloyd wasn't in the game. But this is something that happened on the trip where they got Ty, if I remember correctly. You ran into these guys.
These
Yeah.
are friends of Ty's.
These are these are the goblins. These are the guys who kept trying to sell us rocket boots and stuff.
Okay.
They wanted to trade for the do I not have this?
They wanted to trade
Incursor.
for that for our vehicle, the hovercraft.
Yeah, they wanted to trade for the hovercraft, but Captain Harris would not trade for it. Oh! I found his name. Goblin inventor named Grimble's Cognob. So what you have here is Grimble's Cognob, who is a goblin inventor and one of his helpers.
Oh,
And
okay.
he waves at the people he recognizes, which I guess is Captain Harrows and whoever was in that group on that night.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Hi! Glad to see you.
Ah, I see you found Tranquility.
Yeah, your directions were terrible. But we did find it."
What are you working on?
Well, that's okay because I was pointing you toward an entirely different village.
Oh, well, that would explain why it took so long to find. No. And what is this?
Yes.
Hang on. I think I had a cool name for this. See if we can find it. Oh, well, he just calls it a teleporter. It's a teleporter!
From where?
Now this interests me.
What do you mean from where? From right here.
Where does
Where
it
do we teleport to?
Oh, it goes in my shop! So I was thinking, if people won't come to you, you need to go to the people.
Brilliant.
Now maybe you can help us invent something that'll make the cars run without fuel.
What do you mean, without fuel? Of course you need fuel.
Well,
Things don't blow up without fuel.
Well, you need to find an alternative fuel that can be found on this world, whatever, than the one that was originally used on the world they came from.
So there's all kinds of things you can turn into alcohol, and
Yeah.
alcohol is perfectly good fuel.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you can use what you use for this. Trinitro oxypropane.
Ooh,
That does not sound like a good combination of chemicals.
juicy stuff.
It's easy to make. You just have to get it really cold. I make it at night.
Sounds like everything explosive.
Who has
And
chemicals?
I was
Who has chemistry as a science?
It's rocket fuel.
No. Who has chemistry as a science?
Our magical rocket fuel.
I didn't take it as a specialty. I only took science.
No, it's just if you have science, who here has science and would recognize common chemistry terms?
I recognize it.
Yeah.
It's nitroglycerin.
Yeah, that's why I recognize it.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess
That
you.
doesn't Nitroglycerin does not
Well,
make.
there's a lot of explosive stuff going on there.
Well, the best inventions explode. Eventually. So, who wants to give it a try?
No.
Hmm. Well,
Isco raises his hand. He's like, fantastic!
You go ahead, Isco. You're not going to explode.
You know, we've been here for over 3 days, and none of these people wanted to try our teleporter. We explained that it was perfectly safe.
I don't believe you, but it sounds like fun anyway.
Anything that's got nitroglycerin in, I think I'd hesitate a little bit.
Oh, the teleporter! The teleporter doesn't have nitroglycerin. The generator has nitroglycerin. No,
Yeah, nitroglycerin is the fuel that.
it's a fuel for the generator that powers the teleporter.
It
It couldn't be safer.
He gets really good miles per gallon, I assume.
Yeah, like 3 or 4.
You would be surprised. It takes a tremendous amount of energy to power a teleporter.
Too bad we can't get this to teleport us around here. Maybe we can overcome that time dilation thing.
Well, you need a receiver at each end, so you have to actually go where you need to go before you can go there.
That might be an option.
Step up, sir, he says to Isco. As the first passenger on the Cognob Teleporter Express, you get a discount. Only 2 gold pieces.
I said if it works, we got to make sure there's one in several
How
other
about I
places
go with-
we want to visit.
Oh yeah, no.
What'd you say, Craig?
How about I owe it to you? I don't have it on me. I don't have it on me, sorry.
He looks extremely disappointed.
I'm good for it, man. Come on, I'm good for it. You know me.
Oh, if he doesn't do it, no one will do it. It's. Think of this as a demonstration trip.
Yeah,
The
you
other
should be paid
the other
for
goblin
it.
like tugs on his sleeve and it's like, hey. Think of it as an unpaid internship.
Oh.
And Cognob goes, hey, how'd you like a job testing our inventions?
I like
It doesn't pay anything.
Oh. Okay, we'll do it.
I take it he came back alive?
He hasn't gone anywhere yet.
Oh, he hasn't gone anywhere yet? Okay.
So do you want to be his guinea pig?
Yeah.
Step right up!
Yeah.
And they flip some switches and they pull a lever and there's like a whole bunch of electrical arcs and it looks to all of you like Isco gets electrocuted and then disintegrated.
Woo!
Fair enough.
That's exactly what the goblins, they go, woohoo!
Now bring him back.
It worked!
Bring him
Where
back.
am I? What happens?
You are electrocuted and then disintegrated. But no, you're reintegrated a moment later, and you're standing on a platform very similar to the one you just left,
Oh, good.
next to what looks like a small metal shack with lots of piles of other gizmos and shit around it. And there's the goblin there who is eating a sandwich and who does a backflip when you show up. And his sandwich just flies into the air and like the bread goes this way, the bread goes that way, and
Yeah, all good. All good. Pure, perfectly safe and everything.
yeah, you're fine. Your hair's kind of smoking, but yeah, you're fine.
Well, it doesn't anyway, so. I mean,
And the goblin in front of you says, "Holy crap, it worked!"
I grabbed the goblin sandwich and I eat
Okay.
it. Thanks, I needed that.
So, hi.
Hey, what's up, man? How's it going?
Step right into the shop. And he like walks into the shack.
Cool. Okay.
And there's all kinds of like weird, dangerous equipment you can buy. A force field belt that repels objects by forming small explosions around you to thrust them away. It's loud.
They like nitroglycerin.
There's a personal transportation device, which is essentially a rocket with a saddle on it. For an extra 16 gold pieces, they will include reins to steer it. So there's lots of stuff like that.
Okay,
All right. Meanwhile, back in Tranquility, Isco's gone, and you're like, bring him back, and he's like, well, I can't bring him back. He's got to get on the pad on the other end and then come back.
Okay.
Ah.
Well, speaking of pumpkins, I gotta go to bed.
All right. We can wrap up right there. What are we leaving undone? Well, Isco's got to come back. We'll assume at some point Isco comes back.
And we've got to do this Pashpatashu whatever thing. And
Yeah,
I'm saying we need to shield those tents to make sure when we use it, we don't put out a broadcast signal.
Yeah.
Pashupatastra.
Yeah.
All right, so Isco comes back. You've got goblins in town who can teleport you out. You're not exactly sure where. And back.
So, do I have any idea where I ended up?
It appears to be forest. You're in a clearing, and there's a metal, like a 2-story metal shack, essentially.
Okay, all the places, all of our journeys, do I have any idea where we're at?
Eventually, I mean, maybe to put some of these things in other places as well that we need to get to quickly.
You passed. It is a fantasy forest. The trees are huge, but they're far apart. The ground is covered with ferns, and there's like fairies flitting around, and there's clearly goblins. You passed this on the way to finding Ty.
Is it Ashtonvale? Just joking.
Sure, why not? All right, wrapping up because pumpkin time. All right, so that's where we are, and we'll come back to this next week. So, haha! This has been Pirates of the Mesozoic, and this has been Craig Smith and Donald Long Griffin, Karen Torres, Leslie. Wait, what is that, Karen?
My octopus.
Ah, crazy. Leslie Denneberger, Len Montgomery, me, Jim Brendan Blackmore. All right, you guys have a good night. Thanks for playing. See you next week.
Good night, everybody.